Welcome to Pick and Licks, the Dream Band podcast, with me, Dan Dan, and my co-host, who can't write music that people dance to, Danny Beardsley.
Pick and Licks.
Hey, dude.
How are you, dude?
I'm good, dude. How are you doing?
Very well, thanks. We've just done a fantastic interview with a new guest.
We have indeed.
And now we're doing an intro.
Because life is relentless, and we've got about 16 episodes to edit, so let's crack on, shall we?
It's good going, boy. It's good going.
What was that voice? Come on.
know.
Your voices get worse.
At least it's not Jim Pacho.
Sorry. Anyway, what is this, Danny? What's this?
God, I nearly picked up contact cleaner and that as a drink.
You know, I think people do like snort that as like some kind of drug.
It's quite effective. Quite good stuff.
Stick it on my nozzle then. Let me have a blast.
Well, have you got contacts that need cleaning?
Well, it's gonna clean my eyeballs. I stick it on my nose, isn't it?
It's not to be confused with contact lens cleaner.
Have you done that before?
No, I haven't.
Do you clean the contact lenses directly on the eyeball or not?
I have just one-time use.
Okay, so you don't polish the ones you've already got in?
No, I wouldn't recommend that. I'll tell you what I wouldn't recommend. Putting vape juice in your eye instead of eye drops.
Oh, we know. Oh, in fact, she's been a guest on this podcast. Dallas Dean, everyone. The absolute legend.
She's fine, though. She's still got a vision.
For now. But we will support her for her blindness if it occurs.
Yeah.
Of course we'll. Danny, what we got? What are we drinking?
Tea chat.
What have we been drinking?
Tea chat with Danny and Dan.
No, let's do the non-tea drink first.
Okay.
What have we just drank during that podcast?
Yeah, because the tea we've got is just a standard decaf tea.
Boggo. Oh, you didn't even tell me it was decaf.
It was the decaf one.
Oh, fucking hell.
We've talked about it in a
I
previous
didn't
episode.
get high from it.
I could go in the garage and go and fetch the box that they're in, but I can't.
I don't want you to. It's cold. Your garage is freezing.
It is, actually.
You need to, cold proof it somehow.
Cold proof it?
Is that a thing? I feel like you can spray that foam stuff around the edges and it'll be all right.
Insulate it?
That might be the word.
So, actually, during our last interview, we've had some Tesco finest, mocktail.
Non-alcoholic. Oh, yeah, mocktail implies that, doesn't it?
It
Sorry
was
for being-
refreshing, sweet, and ready to drink.
You know what, it was bloody banging.
No false advertising right here.
And look at the elegant packaging on that as well. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is, actually. I like the colours. I like the colour scheme.
Yeah, I'm going to get some more of them.
Yeah, it was very refreshing. I liked it. It was nice.
Yeah, I could probably drink about 4 of them.
Better than that one in rescue rooms. That is.
Oh my God. If you ever, in fact, just don't drink the mocktails in rescue rooms. They are extremely diabetic. Pre-diabetic drinks, I'd say.
It's not the first time you've said that.
Is it not? I'll just keep repeating myself. And what's this lovely looking chocolate thing on this plate, Danny? What's this?
It's a donut.
Why did you sniff it? Why did you sniff it?
Don't you sniff your food?
I can't really smell much, so...
Can't you?
No, I've got...
Have you got problems with your nasal passage?
I think I've lost one of my senses, to be honest.
That's sad.
But it's not one of the important ones, so...
You can't have lost your sense of smell, surely.
A lot of it's gone, but I can smell this, to be honest. It is very chocolatey.
This is dark chocolate and raspberry donut. And actually, it's a Valentine's edition.
Oh, well, it's not quite Valentine's Day yet, here, Danny, so it's not... don't worry, it's not romantic.
It's by urban legend.
We've had a half each, so it's feeling quite romantic right now.
Right, I'm going in for
a bite, a nib.
I'm not sure.
It's like a custard, the filling, isn't it? In the middle, it's a bit claggy.
I think,
if I'm honest,
the actual donut itself is a little bit like a Hovis cob. Are you getting that? Are you getting that vibe? Like a wholemeal cob.
It's like like ice buns you used to get from was it like Birds or something? The ice bun that's just a cob with some icing on top.
I don't know. I'm going to eat it, but my mind is telling me, is it worth the calories, Daniel? That's what I'm telling myself.
I'm not getting luxury. It's probably the worst. In fact, no, I was going to say it's the worst donut I had for a while, but in fact, that was from the ice arena when I got charged 18 quid for coffee and donut. I'll keep bringing it up.
For your mouldy donut.
It wasn't mouldy, but it wasn't nice.
From your mate.
It's not a mate.
Not anymore. Have you put the complaint in yet?
No.
Oh, dear. That paled in comparison to the baked goods that we sampled
Oh,
before.
yeah. So we had a little baking competition, didn't we, Danny?
Yep.
Well, I didn't. I was the Noel Fielding / Matt Lucas of the occasion. I kept the time and I talked to the contestants.
And you was wearing an old Fielding
Style jumper. Style. Noel Fielding style jumper.
Yeah, I bet his jumpers are really expensive, you know.
That's probably thousands.
Like premium.
Extreme premium.
Premium knit.
But Danny and his little girl had a little baking competition, and I had the luxury of being the judge.
It was good fun, wasn't it?
It was brilliant fun. Yeah, I loved it.
So everything I did went wrong.
Well, the brief was to make a cupcake, and from a sponge cake. What Danny had made is some kind of dry brownie.
Well, you described it because you did a tasting session, didn't you? Like the judge with Heather. You were the judges,
Indeed.
and you said that mine disintegrated like ash in your mouth.
Yes, that's a very accurate description. It wasn't horrible. Weirdly, it was nice.
It was quite a nice taste, wasn't it?
It was really
the
nice.
texture was
but
weird.
The texture was weird and not sponge cake like at all. Whereas your daughter,
It was the sponge was
perfect, immaculate, and she made a homemade jam to go in her cream.
It's like, when did you learn to make jam?
It was absolutely incredible. So yeah, bit of joy, Danny. Bit of joy.
And she put like a Nutella centre in it, didn't she?
A hidden centre, yes.
Yeah.
It was a lot more advanced than yours.
Yeah.
She don't get her baking skills from you, let's put it that way.
Mind you took great satisfaction in leaning over after I dropped the eggs into the mixture. You were just laughing your head off. She was like, "It's split!"
It had split.
I don't know how. You said I added the egg too quick.
You added too much liquid to the fats had split out of it.
Anyway, I've got a lot to learn.
Yeah, but it was really enjoyable. We had good fun, didn't we?
Yeah.
Makes a change from just editing podcasts. What have you been listening to, Danny?
I have been listening to your Mogwai playlist you made for me.
Mogwai for Danny. Readily available on Apple Music. To search Mogwai for Danny. What did you think?
I loved it. It was dead good, mate. I actually, I'm going a bit off piece now.
Go
But
for it.
I actually went for some intermuscular stimulation from my back.
This is off piece, yeah? Okay.
And on the way back from that session, I put some Mogwai on, and it was dark, and it was just like, it was perfect, especially the soundtrack songs.
Yeah.
It's perfect nighttime driving music. Loved it. I did surprise you, didn't I? Because I said, like, even the tracks that have got some vocals on that are kind of, what is it called? Vocoder? Did you say?
That kind of thing.
I really enjoyed it.
I
think it really works.
Glad. Out of the two playlists I gave you so far, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer ISIS or Mogwai?
That's a tough call, mate. I think I might prefer ISIS at this point, but I'm more familiar with ISIS. And I love the drum sound.
Yeah, the drum sound in Mogwai is lacking. Sorry, whoever the Mogwai drummer is. Up your game a little bit, shall we? Why don't you try a little bit harder?
His drumming's great. It's the drum production.
I know. But ultimately, it's up to him, isn't it? What it sounds like. Get that snare tight in a little bit tighter. Let's get a bit more snappy, shall we?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you listened to it, dude.
Yeah, it was really... Thank you for putting that together. I've
okay.
still got... I think I'm something like 7 tracks in, and there's still about another hour's worth of material
Yeah,
left.
it probably is, yeah.
It's great, though. It's really, really good. I've thoroughly enjoyed
I
it.
think there's about 10 or 12 albums selection. There's like quite I've varied up quite a bit for you to see like the change in albums a little bit. There's a little bit of change.
Well, I did branch out and listen to the new album
Yes,
as well, and
very
it's
good.
really it is very good. I can see why you like them. The guitar tones are lovely. Is it because like the ambient guitars, the clean kind of delay reverb kind of stuff, ambient? That's really nice. And you know what's probably really difficult, because they play like a really catchy, simple motif.
Yes.
And repeat it over and over again, and it like builds. But like, how much concentration do you need to have as a player to like? Because I bet you zone out and like, oh god, where am I?
Yeah, for me, it's the build that does it for me. So it is that slow motif that you get at the start of a song, and then at the end it goes into kind of chaos, tremolo picking type madness.
When that fuzz comes in,
and it's so big.
yeah. It's very white. The bass tone's great as well.
And the keys on every song is. I think the keys really make Mogwai. The songwriting, kind of the ability that Barry's got on there is amazing.
We agree.
Woo, two for two.
What have you been listening to?
Well, what have I been listening to? That's a great question. I've been listening to Sleep Token again.
Oh my God, you took them back out.
I've dug them back out.
Martin, he's listening to Sleep Token again. What are you going to do?
Oh, here comes Martin with some more complaints about auto-tune. I'm not to the latest album. I've been listening to the older couple of albums, just as something different. But I do love them. I've not listened to them for a while, so I've dug them back out.
Have you got a favourite track? Have you got a track that's your favourite off?
I really like Alkaline.
That's an old one, isn't it?
It's an old one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been listening to that a lot.
Yeah, I might have to go back and listen to that then. Go back and listen to the older stuff because the new album is the thing that got me hooked to them.
Yeah, it's good to go back, isn't it? And then listen to what came before. But I love the poetry of his lyrics and his vocals. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Really great. Yeah, again, just a great songwriter.
And you don't mind that overproduced kind of sound on that?
No.
Because it's worlds apart from Mogwai, isn't it? From that kind of... Yeah, absolutely.
Like really, like complete
So polished.
opposites, really, in terms of. But to be fair, though, the drums sound incredible. Sleep Token's drummer is like the stuff that he comes out with. Probably overplays a little bit, if anything.
Yeah,
but the skill on show is like incredible.
They're all great musicians, aren't they?
They are indeed.
Absolutely. Oh, brilliant, dude. Well, it's a long one, so should we just crack on?
This is the very long one.
It's a very long one. It's a very long one, and he's a brilliant guest.
So go and get yourself a little snack. Go and get yourself a drink, lie back, and enjoy.
And if you're a guitar player, I think you'll like this one.
If you're a bass player, you might not.
Enjoy.
Hey, he's here.
Dude!
Yo.
Nice to meet you, dude.
Yeah, you too, yeah.
This is Dan.
I'm the Double Dan.
So nice, they named him twice.
Exactly. Exactly. One name is not enough.
I was going to say, is it third Dan? So you're some kind of martial arts black belt, is it? If you've got a third Dan, is it? Was it where you get the third stripe on your black belt, is it?
I'm actually a first Dan black belt.
You know what, Dan?
From when I was a child.
I am as well.
We're both first Dan black belts.
Yeah. I can't do it now, though.
No, I'd have a heart attack.
I'm not flexible enough, and I haven't got the aggression.
I've got the aggression. I'm just not flexible enough.
I don't know. I think I've got over 30, and that it's all just disappeared now. I think flexibility was one of those things that I had in my 20s. I think I used to be bulletproof. I think I used to be, but I don't think I am anymore.
Yeah, I think we all felt like that.
Disappears, and they used to sleep on bricks, get up, and everything would be fine. And nowadays, I have to sleep funny on like a really nice pillow, and I can't move my head for 4 days.
Getting old, isn't it?
I mean, I have to have white noise on to sleep. I can't sleep in silence.
Oh, I listen to podcasts. It used to be post-metal band ISIS was my sleep sound, but not anymore.
I bet there's not many people that do that, listen to that band. So, how's things, dude? All good?
Sorry, caught me mid-swing. Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, really good. I was in rehearsal today, so I think what I was telling you about last week, the shows that I do, we've got a new one starting early next year, so we've started like the pre-production rehearsals for that, so that'll be doing like loads of country stuff, which is not really my wheelhouse, but, you know, we're having a go, see what happens. And
why not?
Oh, bro.
Hopefully it won't be shit. Well, I mean, the others won't be shit. They're all like competent. I just I've managed to wrangle me right in with a load of good musicians. So it's...
You are definitely selling yourself short there.
Yeah, no, I listened to some of your stuff earlier, Phil. It's banging. So good.
Oh, cheers, mate. Yeah,
I think it's your latest. What was it called?
The Jellyfish EP.
That EP. I listened to that on the way with Danny's earlier. And it's banging, so don't say you're not a competent guitarist. Bloody hell!
Appreciate that, mate. I mean, to be fair, I owe a lot to Alex there. He's he was one of my heroes growing up, and so to be able to do a record with him, that was pretty special. That like he's an absolute monster. To kind of watch him do it in like real life was the most baffling thing, because you know when you can see someone on the internet and it's like, oh yeah, you're clearly very good at playing guitar, and then to watch him just like sit in front of you and just play the most outlandish stuff is, yeah, it's mad. Absolutely baffling. But it should be illegal in some countries. That
it probably is.
I saw him with Stephen Wilson, and it was like, whoa.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, from all like the Boss. You remember the Boss videos from like years ago?
Yeah.
And then that's how I heard of him. But we're not talking about him. We're talking about you. You're the man.
Yeah, you're the main focus on this podcast today.
We want to hear about you, mate.
Seat.
We want to hear about you. Should we actually introduce?
Yeah, no one knows who he is yet.
Yeah.
Who are you?
We officially started, have we then? Yeah. We've. I didn't know we were just chatting shit for a minute.
We do a rolling start. We talk shit, and then we just kind of see where we kind of the start bit goes afterwards.
That's good. I'm great at talking shit, so we'll get on just fine. Okay, so I suppose for anyone who who doesn't know me, which is probably most people, my name's Phil Dyer. I'm predominantly, I have been a session guitar player for most of my career, for maybe like the last 12 years, something like that. Predominantly playing with hip hop artists, neo soul, a lot of pop stuff. Used to get lots of calls off like label stuff for new artists coming up, and like kind of MD them and get their music into like a live kind of setting. So I think a lot of it was newer artists who'd made stuff in like Logic at home. They'd never really done a proper project before, never really made anything happen live, and then they'd have had a not like a mega hit, but they've had a reasonably successful hit and could immediately sell out a room. So you've got like an artist who's never played live before, has made loads of music, and now can sell out a 500 capacity venue, and you'd get a call that'd be like, "Can you make this like work for a band?" And I'd be like, okay, yeah. So that was kind of my little niche for like the longest time. COVID happened and all my work shifted, and that meant that I found myself doing loads of really different things, like transcribing, did some teaching for musicism, started doing that remotely, and then ended up being more like a consultation role, did some filming for them, and then got into the transcribing stuff, worked for like the likes of Mary Spender, Rabia, Brown from Monuments, Ariel Pose, and a couple of guys are like, it once you're in that world, it kind of opens up to like a lot of players, which I wasn't really aware of. And then that kind of took me into doing demos, and I've been doing some stuff for Boss, which is how I met Alex, and then that's how the EP kind of came about. And so I from that point, I just started writing music. I mean, I've always written music, probably heavier music than any of the other artists I've ever played with would be into. So it was always just a passion project. And obviously, Danny, you've seen Oceanus as well. You played with us years ago. That was the heavy metal band.
He was talking about it.
Yeah.
Dan wanted to know how we'd met. That was playing with Beholder, and we played.
Yeah.
Oh, was that the Beholder tour you went
Yeah, it was
on?
the Beholder tour, yeah. So there was Scare Tactics on as well, who were an awesome band.
Yeah, they're playing on Saturday. They're still going.
Oh, they're playing on Saturday, are they?
Yeah, they're still going. Yeah, still kicking. Yeah,
They're a wicked band.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
They're two great guitar players. Yeah, Andy and Marty now on the guitar. Yeah, great. Yeah, so it would have been on that Beholder tour. So I've always written music with Oceanus. That was always like kind of a passion project. And then this thing with Alex happened, and it became, I don't know, it kind of snowballed because I'd worked with Mark Roberts, who was the producer, on a musicism shoot. It was like a how to record guitar for beginners thing, and I was basically his dummy for it. I just had to come up with riffs and wrote a partial track for it. And so I'd kept in touch with Mark, and we basically just send each other memes on Instagram for most of the time. And then he put a thing up saying, I've got this week free at Middle Farm Studios, and I just need to fill it. Do you know anyone who's after drums? And I just kind of had this, brainwave, and I thought, yeah, fuck it, I want to record drums. And we had the demos for all of the project, so I was like, yeah, I'll do it, yeah. So we booked the time, and I took Ropes, who's the guy who recorded all the drums on my stuff, Pete Roper, and me and him went down to Devon and recorded in Middle Farm, which is a bit of a dream come true, because obviously I've watched Architects, Periphery, Tesseract, you name it, like every band that I was into, in my early 20s recorded there, and I was just stood in this room that I've watched everyone filming, going, oh, here we are. And then they pressed play to record, Ropes played the first drum fill, and I heard the room mics, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna sound absolutely fantastic, no issues here. And that was kind of what snowballed the record. So we were like, okay, should we track guitars? I was like, yeah, cool, let's track guitars. Booked a day in Brighton Electric, went down and set up a stereo rig with a diesel and a crack in it. It was like just a biblical sound. It was like, it's the best day ever. Get to just track guitars, like 2 days of just tracking guitars. And then the only stipulation for tracking bass was we've got to find somewhere that's got an Ampeg 8x10. And that was it. We just found some studios down south that had massive 8x10, and that was it. We just got the record done. I know Alex tracked all his leads with me in his home studio because he's got all the stuff that he wants there. So we just got stuck in, yeah. So that's kind of led me to this thing where I'm doing my own music, which I suppose was never, I don't know, I'd kind of ticked it off, like I was never going to do it under my own name, because all the work I was getting was for other artists, and it was going well for the longest time, and then obviously it wasn't going well, and then you've got to reframe your perspective, and it was kind of like, well, what do you do in this time frame when when everything's changed, the landscape's changed, and it was like, well, I suppose that the only thing I can really do, and the best thing I can do, is just be myself and write the things that happen. So that's really what happened, really.
It sounds awesome. That record is absolutely amazing.
Oh, cheers.
It stands toe to toe with some of like Pliny's recordings. We were like listening to it. Oh, it's got that kind of like really big kind of, but it's got a big like polished sound, but it sounds organic as well, which is really nice.
Well, I owe a lot of that to George Lever, who mixed it. And obviously George did Sleep Token, and he's done Loathe, and like all these like great records. And I've been friends with George for a couple of years now, and obviously because Alex had done the Stephen Wilson stuff, and I told him I was working with him. And his message was me please, when I told him that we were doing the record. So yeah, we've been talking about it, and then it came to fruition, and obviously got to record in Middle Farm, recorded all the guitars, everything was done, and then George mixed it remotely, and he's amazing. So like kind of like conceptually, the whole idea behind it was that it needed to be fun right out the gate. I kind of got bored of instrumental music just disappearing up its own arse about 15 years ago, because I love all like the progressive stuff. I love Dream Theater and Between the Buried and Me, and all the really like out there stuff. It's like 20-minute song, absolutely love that. I'm all in, I'm sold on it. But I have this kind of thing where I feel like sometimes it loses the fun, and it's like in between all the cool fun bits are all these connecty bits, and I was like, I don't want any of that. I want riffs that make you smile, when you're playing them and when you listen to them. And the whole thing was like, you've got to hear a riff and go, yeah, okay. That was kind of the whole concept behind it. And it was, if you're listening to it and one of the riffs doesn't make you go, oh yeah, I've done something wrong, because I want people to listen to it and be like, good riff, that was a good riff, and then like great solo, and then good riff, and I hope that comes across, because there's only one track on the whole record that's quite dark, and that was the title track, Pale Blue. So the project is actually called Pale Blue, but for whatever reason Spotify classed Jellyfish as the EP. But there is another single to come, which will be out probably late next month, and that will tie the whole project off. But the whole project is called Pale Blue, and the title track is probably the darkest. It's the only one we used an 8-string on. It's got loads of synth stuff. Me mate Chris, who's a monster synth guy, just amazing keys player. Chris Howard, he's the best at what he does. Yeah, I went round to his one night and was just like, how much weird stuff do you reckon we can put on this? And there's like violins and reverse stuff. And one of the things is the sound of pencils that he's recorded. He's someone's a proper genius. This is this guy. Like, so that's the title track. So that's probably the darkest, but also it kind of still needed to be bouncy at the same time.
Yeah.
So I hope that it translates. But everything else, it's all like, if you don't smile when you listen to the riffs, then I've done something wrong, and I'm going to have to do another one to rectify that. I will do another one anyway.
Definitely do another one, because we want to hear more,
but
mate.
It did make me smile. Every lead line in there is gorgeous. And the tone on the guitars as well, beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, the guitar tone's like not even... It's nothing even that fancy, really. I think because Alex has been a long time Laney user, so it's one of them Laney. I've got one next to me, an Ironheart 120. Alex had the Laney, and it's literally a Laney into a low box, the Boss one, and then it's just neural cabs, and then we just used all the delays and reverbs for his leads because it was easier at the time. And then on some of the rhythm parts, most of them are the RE200, the Boss one. 200 whatever it is, that crap with models, and then the SDE, which is the Van Halen delay, because I just love that sound. So that's what the record was really. Guitar tone wise, it was just 3 amps, and then the rest of it's all neural plugins just on top of it. Anything that kind of was like a bit spacey, needed to be a bit wider than kind of like real, if you like. We went into plugin world, and I think a nice blend of both. I see obviously you've got the oranges behind you there, which they look quite tasty.
Retro.
Yeah, I haven't had to go with them, but yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's I feel like that healthy blend of like digital and real kind of helps it to sit nicely, because I think there's certain things where a real amp's got frequencies that are really nice but really unusable, and then there's stuff in there that's you can't really synthetically get with digital stuff, and then vice versa. Digital's so clean and so good, but you know, you can't get that in the real world. So I was like, well, I've got no aversion to using both of it, so let's just try and get the best sound possible. Whatever sounds best is best. And you know, I'm completely agnostic as to whether that's a Zoom 505 pedal or whether it's a Diesel VH4. It makes no difference. If it sounds good, it's going on the record.
I agree completely. If it sounds good, then why wouldn't you use it?
Yeah.
If the shittiest little pedal in the world can make it something that fits with your sound, why not?
It's a tool at the end of the day, isn't it? So as long as you've got a connection with it and it helps bring out the best in you as a musician, it's going to translate to the recording, isn't it? So
I think that's the thing. A lot of people kind of get sucked into like what is best, and you know, realistically, there's in this kind of modern age of digital and all the recreations of like classic gear. There's so much scope for, you know, amazing gear. Like, you know, UAD have brought that Enigmatic, is it? It's like a Dumble. I've listened to so many videos of people playing that, and I was like, oh, that's great. And then I think it was Dave Beebe put a video up, and it was him playing through a HX Stomp, and I couldn't tell the difference. And I was like, it's not the gear, it's the player, isn't it? It's whatever sounds good. If you've got a decent player playing it, it'll sound good. And I just happen to have Alex Hutchins, so I can literally plug him direct into the desk, and he's going to sound great. So you know, I was onto a winner really from the get go. I just played the riffs and, you know, make sure everyone smiles. That was the plan.
yeah. Well, you've clearly got a great ear for tone, and your phrasing's great as well, dudes.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You've got the winning ingredients to create something as fantastic as that EP is.
Indeed.
We've thoroughly enjoyed listening to it, haven't we?
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Like,
oh, no, I appreciate that.
It's definitely my kind of thing.
Any plans to take it live?
We've had an offer from Larvik Guitar Festival to do a show on their guitar thing they do in Larvik, obviously. So that'll be in Norway, I think in April. And that's kind of the first offer we've had. But realistically, I think because there's only 5 tracks out, people are probably still a bit wary as to, can you come and tour this? Because I think they see that there's only really officially 25 minutes of material. So I think promoters and stuff don't really kind of want to go in on that yet. But, you know, behind the scenes, obviously there is more. I've got at least the second EP is sketched out. It's not finalised, and there's just lots of ideas. So I like to just like catalogue ideas and just write through, and just, you know, there's tons of stuff. There's so many like half-written tunes, and then it'll be one that'll be like, yeah, it didn't make the cut. Like there was one that didn't make the cut for this one. Whether it goes on the next one, whether if it fits. It's not that it was a bad tune. It just didn't fit. And so there are other songs alongside the ones that are out, and obviously there's an existing one off this project to finalise it. Yeah, I think because there's officially not that much material out, people are a bit weary to be like, oh yeah, come and do a tour, because I think, you know, if you can only do a 20 minute set and the audience want more, it's like, which one do you want again? This one's Wonderwall.
So first of all, I think I can guess, but what are you going to be playing in this band? What's your position?
Right, okay, so I was going to be the sound guy, and I was just going to watch. So that was my plan. I was going to be the tech guy. But have I got to play in it now? Is that
you're in the band?
You've got to play.
I've got to be in it. Sound, okay. Well, I'm going to play guitar, aren't I? Obviously, because if you've ever seen me play drums, you probably want me to play guitar, because I'm an awful drummer. Like, you know, when you watch a pub band and you're like, they were shit. Them. I'm that drummer. If I ever get behind a kit, I should not be allowed behind a kit anymore. I've seen footage of myself from years ago when I thought I was okay, and I was just kidding myself. I was shite.
Do you enjoy it though? Do you enjoy playing the drums?
Yeah, I love playing drums, but I'm shit at it. I'm really shit at it.
I'm the same. I enjoy playing, but I'm no good. How about you, Danny? Do you enjoy it when you're just battering a few?
Yeah, of course I do.
It's one of those man things, isn't it? I think everyone loves to just
release a bit of like frustration and stress on the drum kit.
Do you know what it feels like? And I've realised what it feels like. You know when you used to play Call of Duty when you were like 18 and you were like sick at it, you were great at Call of Duty, and it was like one shot kills and you were the man. And now obviously life gets in the way, and work, and you get home and you've got to do the washing and, you know, probably sort the kids out and all that. And now you have a go and you get shot by some 14-year-old dickhead in the mum's basement who gives you loads of shit for it, and you feel like, crap. That's how I feel when I play the drums now. But I need to remember that I was never good at them, so it's fine.
I was never good at Call of Duty either.
No, neither was I. But it was just how I tried to prove my point there, because I was always shite at that as well.
I was always bleeding out.
Hold down square.
I'm on down square.
We had some good times on that, to be honest. Normally Rex on the Kraken.
That life is well behind us now. We're on mocktails now.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Mocktails and herbal tea. That's our life.
Well, that's
now.
it. I'm on standard tea in a Little Miss Princess mug, because that's the kind of guy I am.
Oh wow. Tea chat.
Tea chat with Danny and Dan.
Yeah, and I've next week will be a year. I've been totally dry as well, so I'm right there with you with the mocktails.
Oh, brilliant.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I just think like I think again it comes down to the gigging. With we're out 4 nights a week, and even like one bottle a night is just enough. That like you just drinking. I think obviously doing the music thing, you just drink more than the average person, don't you? It's just readily available. So it's got to the point now, and I'm like, I just don't want it anymore. It like upsets my stomach. I feel groggy the next day, and it's like I'm not made of rubbing and magic like I was when I was 25 anymore. I'm susceptible to illness now. I'm old, man. Old.
Not invincible anymore.
Yeah, we talk about this loads.
Yeah.
Right, sorry, I'm derailing you there. I'm good at that.
Oh, no,
no,
it's
no.
fine. What guitar are you using in this band, Phil?
Yeah, I've got
You
loads of
favourite?
favourites. That's the problem. Pick one.
No, pick one. Pick one. Only one.
Can't make him pick one. That's
I'm
brutal.
gonna
Can
go
pick
with
one. I'm doing it.
That's brutal.
If you've seen any of the videos of the project, I've got a black Chapman ML3. It's a 2017 ML3 Pro, which is like the telly-shaped one, but it's like the angry, all blacked out one, and it's an absolute riff machine. It wasn't a particularly expensive guitar when I bought it, but it plays the best out of all of the guitars I've got, and I can't explain why or quantify it or put it into words. And every time I speak to Rob, I go, make this one again. And he won't because it's through neck, but I will keep telling him, make this again. But he won't. But I will tell him again.
We expect a signature at some point, Phil.
Yeah,
I'll best
Chuck a beer.
it. John Connor's getting
Your
one, isn't
model.
he? So I'll be like, John, make this, please, mate.
This is what
This
you
is
want,
what I want.
and then
Get
give
this,
it to me.
and then I'll have it, and then all will be right in the world, and I'll box it off.
So we're geared up. What about amp? What are you going to plug into?
Yeah, amp-wise, I'm going to go with the Victory V130. That is my absolute go-to. It can do like the super cracking thing. It can do really clean, and the crunch channel on it's the best crunch channel I've ever played. It's amazing. So it's got to be that. Probably a handful of pedals in front of it. Standard Boss DZ3 or something, and reverb, tuner. Yeah, tuner. Probably don't need anything else. Boost pedal, maybe. Go for a Thorpe because he's good, isn't he? Everything he makes is good.
I think I've only tried one pedal out.
There's a great comment on one of his videos, and it just says Thorpe built like his pedals, and I've never seen anything so accurate. Have you seen him? He's like Man Mountain.
No,
He's
I've not seen
huge.
it.
He's like
huge.
Adrian. Yeah, Adrian is my favourite person in the music industry. It's like just to talk to him about stuff that like his life before music, dead fun. Like in the army, blowing stuff up and defusing bombs and that. Mad life, great guy. Absolutely love him. Absolutely fucking love him.
Army to guitar pedals.
Yeah, his pedals could survive anything. I think there'll be when like the nuclear war happens and there's only cockroaches and Keith Richards left, there'll just be Thorpe pedals everywhere.
Keith
would,
Richards.
yeah.
He would survive, wouldn't he?
He would somehow.
Yeah. There's something happening with him.
Let's not go into detail.
Okay.
We have got a couple of rules, mate.
Yeah, we're going to give you the rules.
Time for the rules, baby.
Anyone that you choose to be in this dream band, you cannot have been in a band with them before, or you can't be in a band with them now.
Okay.
That's one rule.
And the second rule is that you can't choose more than one member from the same band.
Why would you?
Good. I like it when guests
I thought this
disagree.
through, don't worry.
Hey, he's actually listened. Your dream drummer.
Right.
Who you picking?
I've got three here. See, I clapped then. I was ready. I was good. So, my first choice.
Are you going with your honourable mentions first, or is this your actual choice?
I'm gonna say them out, and then I'm gonna make a decision after I've talked them all up. Yeah.
Oh wow! On the
Yeah.
spot, on the
Let's do
spot
it.
decision.
First one, Mike Portnoy, just cause he was the guy when I was growing up. Absolutely fucking loved Mike Portnoy, and you'd watch him doing fills, and he had a fucking big blue beard, chopping cymbals and stuff, and he was just a monster, and everything he played looked effortless, and it was all cool and rock and roll. He was the first drummer that I'd really watched who just made it look easy, and he did the progressive thing without it being like I don't know, it's just not boring. I felt like obviously not listening to Rush and stuff like that. Neil Peart's very considered and stuff, isn't he? But like Portnoy was like rock and roll all the way through, and it was always like a little bit of Metallica in there, and everything was driving, and even his intricate parts still were cool, and he had interesting fills, and it was just a guy, wasn't he? I listened to the new Dream Theater song last week and was just like, yeah, this is exactly what I want. This it's fucking big drum fills all over the place. John Petrucci plays a lick that's basically impossible. What more could I want from a band? It's that. But so he was kind of my number one because I thought if I'm going to have a guy in a band, I want to turn around and the guy behind me to pull his tongue out and have a blue beard and, you know, like be wearing a vest and, you know, be really lean into it. Do you know what I mean with like drummers who lean into stuff?
Yeah.
Like there's a lean in drummer, like he's absolutely into that, and so he's kind of like me first choice, because I feel like he'd just be nothing but fun at all times, like just loads of ideas, loads of fills, good laugh in the van.
He's a common choice.
It's a very popular choice on this podcast.
Yeah, I imagined he would be, so I thought I'd get him out the way first.
Who's number 2? I can't wait.
So number 2, and it's a bit of a contentious choice. I'm going to go for Mars Volta's ex-drummer.
Oh,
Thomas
Pridgeon.
Thomas Pridgeon, that was it, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why I was thinking Fred Boswell then, but he's the other Gospel Chops guy. But yeah, Thomas Pridgeon, because that Mars Volta record that he played on, the Bedlam and Goliath, was the soundtrack to my teenage years, like from 17 to like about 25. And I used to just drive everyone mental with that record. It was like, have you heard this song where there's like a mad freak out for like 5 minutes in the middle? And they'd be like, no, great, we're putting it on in a van ride and there's nothing you can do. Lucky me, I'm driving. Bang. And then everyone would have to suffer. Like, you know, I have, you know, really put people through the ringer with the Mars Volta over the years, and I love Thomas Pridgeon. I think he's a monster. And I love the fact that, have you ever seen that video where he played Goliath live?
We watched it recently.
Yeah,
because somebody
picked him. Someone picked him, so we went through a bit of a Mars Volta phase, didn't we?
Groove. Oh, such a good groove, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's so like pocketed, and it's mad because he's got so much like, he's so capable, like just so easily so capable, like everything's nothing to him. And it's like, again, like that Portnoy thing, he's a lean-in drummer. He's absolutely giving it at all times. So he's just absolutely nailing through all this like proper, like, I don't know, what's the best way to put it? It's like, is it progressive? Is it jazz? Is it funk? I don't know. He just absolutely smashes through it, and he's just a monster.
Well, hey,
we're back.
I'm better than ever, obviously.
Obviously. Have you de-aged?
Yeah, I realised how shiny I was when, what's it called? When I had a look at the video before, because I'd turned myself off because I hate looking at myself, and then I was like, oh, wow, I'm really, really quite shiny today, aren't I? I think it's probably being in rehearsal and sweating profusely while trying to sight read country tunes that I'm really bad at.
You aren't that shiny.
No,
we know someone that we call Shiny Tom.
Shiny Tom.
Because he's the shiniest man we've ever seen.
His name's Tom.
And he's shiny.
Yeah, that's...
Shiny Tom.
It's not just a clever name.
His friend is called Matt.
Yeah, I thought when you said his name was Matt that he was going to be like a matte finish as opposed to like shiny, like his mate was, because that would be brilliant if that was the pair of them, and he was shiny and he was like a matte finish. I think all you need to do is get some bit of a satin finish then, and it's like getting all your paint colours done.
Shiny Tom and matte finish. That's a good. That's cleverer than what we came up with.
Why didn't we think of that all them years ago?
I know.
It's all right. I'll put my royalty check in the post, lads. It's fine. Don't worry.
That's been cut, by the way, in case Shiny Tom and Matt listen to it.
Who's this third drummer?
Oh yeah,
number 3.
So my third drummer, and I had to Google his name because I've been listening to them, but I didn't really know what his name was. And it's have you seen that Krungbin? No. Okay, so like they do a Boss Tiny desk, and it's like it's just the sickest thing ever. It's spelled funny. It's KHRUANGBIN, and his name is Donald DJ Johnson Jr. And he literally just sits and goes, and he's the most in-time drummer ever. He's like, metronomes set themselves to him. Like, he's the guy people set their watch to. He is so in time. It's unreal. And I've watched that Tiny Desk so many times. It's one of them things that once you've listened to it once, I think we had it on the van the other day, and it finished, and everyone's, put it on again, lad, put it on again. And so, like, and there's a couple of tunes like that. That last Marcus King record was like that. Put it on again, lad. Big long drive. It might get done 3 or 4 times in one hit, like, but yeah, that was one of them. Yeah, great drummer. Like, he's so good. He's like just so in time. It doesn't really hit hard. It's like almost, you know, what, that feather touch thing where it's all in the wrist, and like, yeah, it just looks easy. And so he's not a lean-in drummer, he's a sit-back drummer, and I feel like he's a totally different dynamic than the others, and so he's kind of my wild card one. And so I kind of feel like he's I like that because he's so different, like so totally different. And I've only ever heard him do this one thing that he does, whereas the others I've heard them do everything. So I kind of want to hear him do more. I'd be like, what would this guy be like if you were like, listen, give me a samba feel? Because his feel's so good. I feel like if you put him in like a really strange situation and be like, I want you to play rock grooves, that he'd just be like, yeah, cool, okay, yeah. But everything would be dead pocketed and dead cool because he's got a great feel. I think he's got that magic touch that like everyone always talks about with musicians. He's got that feel. I would say actually there was a fourth one and I forgot that I'd written the fourth one on my list. Sorry. I'm sorry, this might go on a while.
It's okay.
And it was your t-shirt that reminded me. Yeah, it was J. Postones from Tesseract.
Oh yes,
Yeah, good.
Love what he does.
Great
He's amazing. Like, and so like when we recorded the record, Tesseract had been in to record War of Being literally a month earlier, and there was a test pressing of it.
Amazing
So
album.
before it came out, we listened. It was a month before the record came out. We listened to it
wow.
in full on a vinyl, and it was like, you know, when you listen to something like, oh, this was recorded. We're in the place it was recorded, in the room it was recorded, and listening to the record that's not out yet. This is wild, and hearing him do like all the yeah, he's just so good. In fact, fuck it, yeah, J. Postones is my drummer. End of. I've just sold it to myself. Yeah, you just passed the audition there, mate. Well done. First call. I don't think much. I convinced myself, really.
Is that your definite final pick?
Well, let me recap. Mike Portnoy.
Okay.
Great. Very, very, like, you know, a kind of linear fills, all that. You know, he's cool. Very rock and roll. Heard him play loads of stuff. You know, obviously great. And then we got Thomas Pridgeon. Probably the most versatile out of 4. And he's like coolest. Got the best teeth out of everyone. Port factor. Looks the coolest. Probably the best laugh on a night out. Donald Johnson Jr. from Krungbin. Probably dead chill. I reckon he loves a green tea. He's the kind of guy you can sit in the green room with and talk about healing crystals and not want to pan his head in. And yeah, and then J. Postones, he's very British. So I think, yeah, he's going to win, isn't he? Because he's obviously like, he's going to get all the sarcasm and all the abject, horrendous things that bands say to each other on a regular basis.
The other guys will be like, what? Like,
yeah, it'll just be like water off a duck's back, won't it? You know, like I think a lot, you know, it's, you know, for many American listeners who don't get the British sarcasm and who can understand me, which is probably very few. I've said and had things said to me by friends that are far worse than anyone could ever comment to me on the internet ever. And so I feel like any piece of content that I put on the internet, no matter what it is, no matter how abjectly horrible someone comments on it, I can guarantee my best mate has said worse things to me. Like the things that we joke about in this band while we're on tour are horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Really deeply personal, upsetting things. And we just find them funny. Because if you don't, what's the point?
Yeah, we say some horrible things to each other sometimes, don't we? Probably more me than you, but you take it well.
I do.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, that's how you know they're your mates. How did that become a joke in the first instance? How have we got to this point?
It does though, doesn't it?
That's not normal. Do normal people do this? But I think it's maybe because obviously we spend like 60 hours a week in each other's company and you've just got to find new things to find funny. But so I feel like J. Postones would get in on the jokes anyway and he'd be well into that. So yeah, I think he could get behind that. He might get involved and yeah, he gets that. So he gets my vote for top choice drummer in my fake band.
Well, it's fake for now, but you never know if it's going to come true.
He won't answer me calls, though. I keep phoning him at 3 a.m. like Chris Buck and going you up, and he won't answer.
I assume you have seen him play live before.
Yeah, I've been into Tesseract for like a long time. So I had the couple of the singles before Dan Tompkins joined. Dan Tompkins, is it? Yeah, the singer. Before he joined in like 2010, 2011, and it was Abbey. I can't remember what the guy's name was. But it was when he was in the band, and obviously they announced Dan, and then he did Conceal and Fate the EP, and then One came out. Yep. I saw them on the Leave Extraordinary Gentlemen tour. I've seen them a couple of times since with Chimp Spanner and stuff, and then obviously went to see them on the War of Being tour, and they're arguably one of the tightest bands I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen another band that tight, and to the point where it's like, that's really not fair. That should be illegal. That like, give us a chance. Give me a chance. You know, let me practice for
aren't they?
like 16 to 18 years, and then we'll see what happens.
Amos and Jay just clang together, don't they? Like perfectly,
just in the pocket.
Yeah, it's that thing of great feel and great technique, but it's that point where like great techniques become irrelevant because they're so good at the instruments, so that the technique disappears and it's just all pure expression. And that's when I look for musicians or look at players I love, that's the thing that I love. It's just that they kind of know what they want trying to do. So if they try and execute an idea, they've got the technique to do it. They don't have to think about it. Like, I often think, you know, when you watch loads of like guitar videos on the internet and it's loads of people talking about technique, and I'm like, we just need to like not think about that as much and just play more. And then the technique is like something that you work on to kind of to bolster the ideas. And I feel like, you know, just working technical exercises, because I've watched, you know, fantastic guitar players I've taught in the past go off to college and just become amazing technicians, but become boring because they've pursued technique too much. And it's like, you were a great player, you could do so much, you were so capable, but now you've buried yourself in technique. And I'm not saying that in a bad derogatory way, because I think obviously having great technique allows you to kind of express yourself. But I think a lot of players kind of forget that you're playing music and you've got to be able to play songs and things that connect with people, because it's all very well and good going like, oh cool, but no one just like skips forward to the solo and then goes to the next song. And if you do, you're kind of missing the bigger picture of it. It's like that thing you said about Ariel Posen. He's got so much great technique and great feel, and he plays that great lick, and you're like, everything about that's fantastic. Everything about it is amazing. At no point in that did he think, oh, I'm going to do like a hybrid picking thing, and I'm trying to think outside, and I'm going to play this like, you know, outside diminished chromatic thing going into a 5. It's just intrinsic. It's in there. It's instinct. And when you've got to that point, that's what you want, isn't it? And I feel like, you know, all of the drummers I've just mentioned have got that. And that's kind of what I want for musicians. And I feel like it needs to be in this Instagram world of like everyone putting up their best licks, what I would like to call their NAM licks. You know, when they go to a guitar booth and everyone plays their NAM lick where they basically blow their load for 5 minutes in the hope that the rep gives them an endorsement, with no body of work or anything, no audience other than like a couple of thousand people on the internet to kind of like, I just feel like we're missing the point. It's kind of like we need to go back to creating art, good art at that, and getting really stuck into it. And I feel like sometimes the technique is a little bit secondary to good art. It helps you to perform the art and it helps you to write the art, but it's not the be all end all. It's just a tool, in the same way that when I badly put them shelves up, I used a drill, which is a tool. The fact that I used a drill doesn't mean that I need to drill everything all the time. But for that one job, it was perfect. And that's what technique is.
Great analogy.
Yeah, perfect. Are they guitar pedals on that shelf?
Yeah, that's the spice rack.
The spice rack.
Everyone always compliments me on my great rack. Do you want to move on to me next guy or girl?
The next member. I'm assuming that you got another guitarist in the band.
Yeah, but like I was like, do I want a guitar player or do it? Because in your email you said guitar player or other, and I was like, well, I'm playing guitar, so I feel like I can cover a lot of ground on my own, and I can.
Well, you certainly can. Yeah,
I can play a little bit of lead and a little bit of rhythm, and I've I can kind of comp a little bit, so I can get through most situations. So what I want's a creative. I want like a person who's like a bit of a dab hand in multiple things. You could go maybe a bit of keyboard, but he might play guitar at the same time. And so my wildcard choices were Justin Vernon from Bon Iver, because he's
okay.
He's just a genius, isn't he? And I thought that my reasoning behind that is because he's so like plays the sampler, I went to see Bon Iver and basically sobbed for 2 hours last year when they toured last. But he plays the sampler, he plays the guitar, he plays the keys. He's just all around just genius musician guy who's got it all going on. Comes up with interesting melodies, writes great songs, connects with people, is emotionally intelligent, kind of stands for all the right things. So I think for me, he's kind of like the utility man that you really want in a band who can do a bit of everything. He's so good, isn't he? He's just, but like again, technically not that good. Musically, fantastic. So that's kind of why.
Oh, you're right there,
I wasn't expecting that at all. Technically, not very good.
But like that's the thing, isn't it? Like,
but musically,
I mean, obviously, he can clearly play. His voice is great. But like, if you were to go like, here's this John Petrucci exercise, he'd just laugh at you because he's not doing that, is he? He's clearly not going to go and play. No, yeah. He's not sitting in his house playing Rock Discipline in his mum's basement, is he? That's not happening on a weekend. I would love to watch Justin Vernon from Bon Iver try and do Rock Discipline. That'd be pure comedy, because it's pointless again, isn't it? That's like me practicing using me drill to put the shelves up. It's just pointless. Why? It's just a skill that you're not going to use, is it? So, yeah, I think he's kind of like a utility guy. So he was kind of like me top choice for like someone who could do a bit of everything. But then I thought, like,
Okay.
he can also sing, so he could do a bit of lead vocal, he could do a bit of backing vocal, he's good with the sampler. So he's going in the band, he's Justin Vernon, like, there's no hesitation, it's Justin Vernon.
Have you got a favourite piece of work from him? What's a standout track or something like that?
For Bon Iver, it's such a weird one because like everyone thinks of Bon Iver as like this one man with the acoustic, like kind of, like he writes sad songs about like his breakup, because that was the thing, wasn't it? He went and locked himself in a cabin for 6 months and wrote a record after the breakup. Yeah. But the first album is that, and there's the seeds of where he's going, and then the second album is very much like a band, and then he's decided that he is no longer Bon Iver, the band is Bon Iver, so like all of the collective is. And the third album, 22 a Million, that's what it's called, and the fourth album, I, they're just these mad, synthy, whacked out, like all the drums are crushed to fuck and all the sounds are mad on it. Like it's kind of that thing where he really embraces sounds that shouldn't be nice, like, things that shouldn't work.
Yep.
And I would probably say I've got favourites, but if you want the full Bon Iver experience, because I feel like he gets elation and like he just gets joy really well, and he writes, considering he's known for sad songs, he writes euphoria is the best way to describe it. He writes euphoria brilliantly. And there's a song off the fourth record called I Am I, or Imi. I don't know how you say it because it's never actually said on the record. And there's this moment in the middle of it where it's this mad climbing riff where it's his voice multi-layered and sampled and saxophone and guitars and string, everything. And it's just this, it all just culminates this one major chord. It just dips off and you just sat listening to it like, wow, whoever writes this is a genius. There's no, that's a higher power, that. Someone whose magic has been sent to this planet to do that.
It sounds like something that Devin would do.
He kind of got
He's a bit
that,
like that into with his arrangements.
Yeah, I feel like if you're into Devon, it's like Devon Townsend, but without the riffs. If like without the big riffs.
Okay.
Yeah, Devon Light is what you want. It's like Philadelphia Lighter. It's like, it's all the things you want, the taste, the flavour, but without all the bad bits, Not that Devon's got any bad bits.
Less fat.
Yeah, just less fat. Which, my doctor assures me is probably for the best for me these days.
Less flavour, though.
Is it, though?
Let's not argue about the flavour of Philadelphia. Come on.
Yeah.
Have you met him before?
Devon or Bon Iver?
Bon Iver.
I have actually met Devon once at NAMM years ago. I was working a stand and I was just setting up that morning and he just walked past and was looking at the stuff and I was like, do you want to look at anything? And he was like, no, I'm just having a look. I like to come in early when no one's here because I've got an exhibitor pass, so I can just have a walk around and no one kind of like can get in the way. And I was like, oh, I'll leave you to it then and let you get on. And afterwards he came over and he was like, oh, thanks, I might pop back later. And I was like, oh no, I love your music, so if you want anything, come back. And I think he kind of appreciated just leaving him alone rather than being like, yeah, try our new whatever we've got,
Devin.
yeah. And so I just kind of give him a space.
Yeah, he's got everything he needs.
He doesn't need anything.
Did he have the skullet or was he fully bald?
He was fully chrome domed at this point. He was a full baldy dude at this point. So he was easy to recognise. But he looks like a mad scientist, doesn't he? He just comes over all hunched over with his like hood up, and just like he's ready to do experiments. Yeah. Like I wouldn't if you saw him with loads of beakers and
with
stuff.
Sound.
Yeah, with sound. Yeah, if he had loads of beakers with smoke coming out, you just wouldn't question it. Be like, oh yeah, he's just doing science, isn't he? That's what he does.
This is my favourite bit. Your dream bass player.
Dream bass player.
Who are you picking?
Well, it's again. I'm trying to whittle these down because I've got a few here. So my first one is Paul Bender from Hiatus Coyote. I don't know if you've listened to them.
Oh no, I haven't. No. What kind of music?
Hip hop, funk, jazz, off its tits, kind of like just brilliant stuff. But he is like he's a monster. Plays a big any ball bongo 5-string thing. Plays all.
Oh, a bongo.
You used to have a bongo, didn't you?
I had a bongo once.
It's like a toilet seat.
Wait, they're so big.
Yeah, you didn't like it, did you?
It sounded great, but it looked like a toilet seat.
They do have that like...
And the headstock was weird. It's got like a...
Yeah, they do look a bit like a bog seat. Yeah, I've not really considered that, but now you're bringing that to my attention. I do feel like that's up there, yeah. But he plays that, and he's a big lad, so, he looks okay on him, and he wears a big flowery shirt and just plays all the best licks. But I went to see them last Sunday, and again, religious experience, so good. Like, just so good at playing the bass. He's kind of a bit of a weird dude as well, but like weird in a good way. Like they gave him a mic, and they're Australian, so I'm gonna do my world's worst Australian accent. In the middle of the set,
do it. Can't wait.
And he just gets the mic. He's like, "Was anyone familiar with the music of?" And like names some like mad Russian composer from like the 40s. He's like, "Yeah, you could see colours," and everyone was like, "Yeah." And no one's ever heard of this guy, and he's like, "Yeah, this next song's called Dmitri," and then everyone just plays this ridiculous bass line. And that was his that was the only thing he said all night, and that they had to like qualify his statement later on, and they gave him the mic again. But it's just funny because like he's got the mic, he probably doesn't want to use it, but they force him into using it because he's unknowingly funny, which means that I think he'd be a good shout. I might go for him. I did have another choice, but I feel like I've talked myself into it here.
Okay, so
you seem pretty confident.
Yeah.
Who would your other choice be, though? Let's help you decide.
Well, my other choice was Derek Hodge, who plays bass for Robert Glasper.
I've not heard of him.
No.
Not heard of him
He's
either.
so good. Have you ever listened to Robert Glasper? He's like hip hop, neo soul guy.
No.
So good. He's got like so many albums. Black Radio 1, 2, and 3. All of them are great. But he's played for everyone. He's like the first call jazz, hip hop, piano, keyboard guy. He's been on like, you know, like Lauryn Hill and you name it, every big artist in that scene, he's on their record. And in about 2011, something like that, he decided to do his own music. So he'd done 2 jazz records. He was like Blue Note #1 selling jazz guy. Then he was like, all right, I am a hip hop guy. I'm doing a hip hop record. And it's a who's who of like hip hop guys. And Patrick Stumps from Fallout Boy's on it as well. Because he's a hip hop producer as well, so he's
okay.
Yeah, of course.
So he does
yeah.
he does vocals on one of the tracks. Like it's got Common on it, and like it's just a who's who, like the best ones. But then he's done Black Radio 1, 2, and 3, and then there's this mixtape they did called Fuck Yo Feelings, and on that Fuck Yo Feelings mixtape, Derek Hodge plays bass the whole way through. He's like liquid the whole way through. He's just plays effortlessly, and it's like a big 5-string thing, and all of his licks are just so smooth and effortless. And yeah, he's a phenomenal bass. It's like worth checking out just for that. But I think the song Fuck Yo Feelings off that record, it's just so good. And like the first lick he plays on it, like I would say, like just have a listen to it, because the first thing he plays, you go, he's still going. Oh, fucking hell, yeah, that's a bit of bass playing that, isn't it? Yeah.
We're definitely checking
I like
that
the sound of
out,
that.
Yeah, great record. Yeah, he's like one of the best. Like, I think he's a first call session guy for like so many players as well. But you can't go wrong with it. But I feel like it's between him and Paul Bender. And Paul Bender's sick. That's the issue. And he's sick, and he's Australian. He's a bit weird. Derek Hodge is like dead gospel and that.
Yeah.
I feel like if I was going to pick Thomas Pridgeon as me drummer, then I would have picked Derek Hodge. But I've gone slightly left of field, and I've gone J Post Stones, and I've gone Paul Bender. So I think that's who I've gone for as my rhythm section, really.
Decent.
Excellent.
Great choices.
Loving this. I've got some new music to listen to.
It's the best thing about this podcast for
Yeah.
us. We get to learn about all these new bands and bands that we've been maybe ignorant to over the years.
Yeah, and it's nice to speak to what sounds like, Phil, a passionate fan of a bass player.
Yeah.
Because usually Dan gets burned.
Yeah, usually we've had a couple of guitarists on, haven't we, that have pretty much gone, just do bass on the MIDI keyboard these days.
I don't care about bass. And it's like, you take bass away, it sounds shit.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because like when it came to doing the record, it was like, okay, well I've got MIDI bass that I could sit there, and I've bought like, you know, a couple of plugins. And they all sounded good. Like they all sounded great. They sounded better than I could play it, basically, but they didn't sound real. And so
Yeah.
And again, the MIDI drums, it was great. It's really clean, and it didn't sound like a band in a room. And the whole thing of the record was it needed to sound like a band in a room. And so when I was talking to George about the mix, and he was just like, just go and rent a studio, plug a bass in. And I was like, yeah, you know what, you're right, I do need to do that. So that's when I was talking to Mark, and I was like, the bass sounds that I really like are a fucking big Ampeg 8x10 turned up, dead loud, absolutely slammed, just on the edge with a couple of choice pedals in between it. And he was like, yeah, cool. I turned up, and he'd already set it up, and it had 14 different mics on it. He was like, we'll just whittle these down and work out which ones you like. And after about an hour of titting about and me playing the same riff and him probably losing his mind, we were like, yeah, okay, that's the sound. And that was the record. And so my mediocre bass playing is on the record. It's not MIDI bass or anything like that, but it needed to be like, and I feel like for heavier styles, it kind of, in certain circumstances, it makes more sense for a guitar player to track the bass with the guitar. If you're not doing this the hyper edited thing, and like you're editing every transient, I will play tighter to myself than anyone else will play tighter to me. So it makes sense for me to do that. But in a live situation, a great bass player is going to make all the difference. And like I'm privileged in my life to have played with some absolutely amazing bass players, and I think people like obviously make the joke out of it, but I'm like, that's a very musical instrument if played right, and to be able to play it right and get all of the tones out of it, you know, you've got to appreciate someone who can do that, because I feel like the learning, everything was, it's just guitar but easier. It's like, yeah, in the initial stage, yeah, okay, maybe you can play American Idiot and you can play a song on the bass, but when you get past that threshold of, okay, I can play songs, and you become into the freedom of expression thing, and it's back to that thing of once technique has become transparent and it's just all about pure expression. Those bass players who get into, you know, that, and when you watch like that Hadrian Farrow, what was his name? Is it Hadrian Farrow? That, have you seen him, the mayonnaise guy?
Yeah.
Or Federico Malaman and all them fucking mad guys who can play everything, and you're like, that's your instrument, and you know, you kind of forget that it's a bass, because they're able to just express anything that's going on in there. Just comes out. They're like, yeah, it's cool, this is what I can do,
and it's perfect as well.
Yeah, class.
I agree completely. Shout out to bass players.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I've got to defend the bass players. Yeah, got to defend the bass players. They get loads of shit, but if you haven't got a decent bass player in your band, you sound shit. End of story. The amount of bands I've seen where like the guitar player tracks it and they get out live, and you've got the guy who looks good, you know, like he's probably got a cool haircut and cool clothes and all the right gear, but he can't play the stuff, and you're like, just sack him and get a decent one. You know what I mean? That's the aim of the game, and then just get a guy who can play the music well. You know, he's decent to hang out with. More importantly, he can play the riffs. Boss, that's what we want there. Sorted. We've got a band on our hands here, lads.
We're on to your final choice.
Yeah, we are on to my final choice. Yeah.
How do you feel?
Jubilant.
What is it, Danny?
Dream vocalist.
Your dream singer.
Yeah, see, this is me difficult one, this, because
you don't have vocals on your recent tracks.
Yeah,
do you?
You don't want to hear me singing. I'll clear the room out. I do all the backing vocals for the you know the shows that we do with, you know, like we're doing the Eagles and stuff like that, and it's got to the point now where like the lads just tear me off in their ears because I just do the lowest available harmony. You know, we're doing like Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm like, is this the real life? Is the lowest possible note? You know, that's me. So
I can see why they turn you off.
Yeah, and you know, I'd turn me off too. So it's one of them. So I don't sing for that reason.
Fair enough.
The person I wanted to pick, I have been in a band with, so I can't pick him.
No, you can't.
No, and that's against the rules. But I'm going to mention him anyway because
give him a shout out.
Yeah, you can give him a mention.
It was an artist called Zamvolo, and I stand hand on heart say he was the most creative and genuinely talented artist I've ever played with. I don't think I've ever played with another artist who understood who they were from day one as much as he did, who had as much passion about what he did and also was that talented from the get-go. His voice was like a gift from God, is the way someone described it. And I've never met a vocalist who can do what he can do, because he had all of the range, all of the part. He sounded like John Legend if John Legend's range never stopped. He's a powerhouse. He was unbelievable. Yeah. And it was a privilege and a joy to play with him. And he doesn't do music anymore, which is such a shame. But he's my honourable mention. And if there's anyone who takes away from this podcast and wants to go and listen to him, Zamvolo, Xamvolo. And he was... I stand by the fact that he was the most creative musician. He single-handedly wrote his own album in a studio on his own. I used to turn up and he'd be like, I want you to play exactly this. And I'd be like, okay, yeah. And you'd literally play something, and then days later he'd send it back to you and you'd just get this. It is just like he'd reversed it and fucked around with it and reharmonized it, and it'd be totally different than what you played, but it was magic. He was like true talent, pure unadulterated talent, and I can't talk any more highly about him. So that's my honourable mention. Oh, wow. I have to throw that in there.
What an honourable mention.
I'm going to go and have a listen.
Definitely.
One tidbit before we move on.
What album?
The album's called All the Sweetness on the Surface, and it's kind of like about a trip, if you like. And so the whole purpose of it is that, I don't want to misinterpret this, by the way, it's like he needs something at the beginning, and so he goes to this tree which has got a honey on it, and the honey is whatever you need. If you're sad, it's happiness. If you're cold, it's heat. It's whatever you need. It's the thing you need. And so the first half of the record is pre-finding this, and the second half of the record is post-finding it, and you can kind of hear where it changes. And so all the way through, there are weird clicks and whistles that are references to it. The closer you get to what he called encounter, there are more clicks and more whistles and more weirdness. And then the intro is him discussing what he feels like it's going to be like, and the outro is what he thinks is his experience post the thing, you know, the post encounter. And if you play the intro and the outro at the same time, it's him having a discussion with himself.
Wow. I love stuff like that.
Amazing.
Yeah, he didn't tell me until like he'd finished it, and he was like, have you found the secret track yet? Bear in mind, I'm on this record. I'm all over this fucking record. And I was like, secret track? What are you fucking on about? And he was like, yeah, there's a secret track. And I was like trying I couldn't work out what it was for weeks. And then he was like, I'll show you the secret track. And I was like, yeah. And then he played the intro, and it's on YouTube. He's done it. He's put it together. And he played it to me, and I was like, fucking hell. Literally just open mouthed, like just couldn't, you know. I've watched him do mad stuff before. I watched him auto tune bees once because they weren't right. That was mental.
These bees aren't the right frequency.
Mate, pure genius, pure unadulterated genius. So I've got to throw that in there. But yeah, when he played that to me, I was literally just like, you are not from this planet, and I am so glad I am doing this project with you. But yeah, he doesn't do music anymore. So if I can say anything, go and listen to that record, start to finish. It's wild. Just wild.
Who are you actually picking?
Right, okay. So I can't pick Napalm from Hiatus Coyote because I've already stole their bass player. So
there you go.
I'm in a bit of a pickle here, lads, and I need a vocalist, and so I think it might be Bilal, because he's the only kind of artist who's in for all the weirdness. You know, he does like loads of jazz, soul, hip hop stuff, like loads of weirdness. He's into all that. He's got loads of runs, really good. But I did have another one. I did have a backup one.
Okay.
And this is a bit of a wild card, this, so you're gonna have to bear with me. And it's a rapper, and I'm gonna go for Mac Miller. Again, hip-hop guy, but he's like conscious rap kind of stuff. Maybe not like, it's not all clean. Like there's a lot of like, you know, pussy and drugs kind of gear stuff going on, which is obviously the rap game. Like that's just what they do, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like
pussy and drugs.
Bitches, yo, pussy, drugs and all that. And that's kind of like...
in the club.
Yeah. But like,
always in the club.
But he kind of wraps it up like in this really self-aware bubble of like, he knows that he's a parody of what he's doing, and I kind of really like that he's aware of that
self-awareness.
Yeah. I mean, he's unfortunately died a couple of years ago, but he's my only a kind of person that couldn't actually be in the band. It'd be really difficult for him to attend band practice. Like
we can resurrect for the purpose of this dream band. Yeah, we have the power to resurrect.
Oh, sound. Yeah, so I think Mac Miller's probably my choice, because I think there's him or Kendrick Lamar, and Kendrick's obviously phenomenal at what he does and all the voices, but I feel like Mac kind of has this really like enigmatic flow where he's self-aware that what he's talking about is kind of shit in a way, but then when he really talks about the things that are important, he really gets you with something that you're like, all right, okay. And so he might not be a great vocalist, but he connects with people, and I feel like that's important. And I feel like him and Justin Vernon, like, you know, because he's going to be me second guitar keyboard sampler guy who's also got a bus voice. I feel like I've got great singer, and then I've got rapper with great lyrics, and then I've got you know, I've got all these. I've got a good team there.
Excellent.
It's time to summarise your choices, Phil Dyer.
Excellent.
So let's start from the top.
What are you going to be doing in this band?
Obviously, I'm playing guitar because I'm shite at everything else. So I'm gonna play guitar and probably make the brews. I think that's probably the best thing for me to do. I'm gonna, you know, play guitar, make sure everyone's got a cup of tea or a cup of coffee in their hand, you know, and that'll be my main job in this band. I feel like that's sorted then.
What about your second guitarist / multi-instrumentalist?
Oh yeah, that's going to be Justin Vernon from Bon Iver. We've robbed him. He's come over. He's defected. He's put a public statement out and said that he's had enough of being in Bon Iver and writing nice music. He wants to come and play sick riffs with the lads. His words, not mine.
Is that his actual statement?
Yeah, his exact statement.
I want to play sick riffs with the lads.
Yeah, he just put it out on Bon Iver's page. He said, I've had enough of playing all these songs that are really meaningful, and I just want to play sick riffs with the lads. I'll see it in a few months. That's you go on their Instagram and says it now. He's on there at the moment. He's going live. He's going to be talking about it soon.
It's going to happen one day.
Yeah, he's going to have an exclusive in the paper as well next week, and we'll talk all about it then.
Your dream drummer.
Yeah, we went with J Post Owens from Tesseract, didn't we? Because your T-shirt was obviously subliminally influencing me there.
You've influenced the guests, Danny.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you okay with that?
Yeah.
I don't know if I am. Back to the Dream Band. You're a Dream bass player.
Paul Benzer, hiatus coyote.
Dream vocalist.
Dream vocalist. We went for Mac Miller. I thought we've already got one singer in the band. Like Justin Vernon can do it all. So Mac Miller's gonna give it the bifters for everyone. He's gonna get out and tell everyone what they need to know about the real world. Gonna break the fourth wall. Let everyone know what they're missing.
I think it'll be good, but do you think the band will get on?
That's a big question.
I feel like there's going to be a fraction in the band. Like I feel like you get one good album out of us, and then it'd all explode, implode on itself like spectacularly, and we'd hate each other. But that's one good album that everyone's going to listen to for years.
That's normally what happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
One good album, and then it all goes to shit.
That's what you do. He does one album, bails out.
Well, that's exactly what I do. Yeah, like one album, right, done. Next,
one and done.
Next
See
band.
you later. Yeah, next band. Yeah. Well, what was that? The Travelling Wilburys. That was like Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, George Addison, Roy Orbison. Wasn't it? It was like who's who of like megastar, and then he just fucking hated each other by the end of it. So like, I feel like that's probably what it needs to be. Like rather than the Beatles, where they just they all just hated each other by the end of it as well. But that's slightly different. Super band, couple of good albums. In and out. So I feel like this is what this is going to be. It's going to be one great album, absolutely cracking rhythm section. Sick riffs for the lads, obviously. And then, we're going to have loads of boss rap stuff over the top of it and loads of weird sampling bits.
And then you all write an autobiography about how destructive the band was in the final days.
Yeah. I'm gonna sell it to the papers,
milk it,
and I'm gonna try and sell me story. Like that proper. It was Rebecca Vardy, Wagatha Christie kind of gear.
Oh, that was incredible, wasn't it?
I'm gonna do that. And try and make me money and just live off that for a couple of years. And just live on a desert island, writing sick riffs for the lads.
Get Netflix involved. They like doing documentaries these days, don't they?
I'll just try and blag them that it was part of that Fire Festival. Like, yeah, we were supposed to play a Fire Festival and Woodstock '99. We were on that as well.
It's time
to name
that band.
Name your dream band, baby.
What's it going to be called?
Right. Okay. So. Again, I've got choices here. My first choice.
You're a man of many choices.
Yeah,
he's the only one that's been prepared.
Yeah, I've given this a lot of thought because obviously I spend a lot of time in a van, so I've got a lot of time to think about this. Not getting kidnapped or anything, or kidnapping other people. That's just how you travel as a band, isn't it? Just in a van. But
are you sure?
Yeah, so the first one, and this comes courtesy of Stu from Oceanus, is Shit Distance. Because obviously all you do is travel.
Distance.
Yeah. And every time you go, where are you this week? I'm in Exeter. Shit distance, that. Shit distance. So that's just become the thing. And I feel like obviously I've got a crack on band. We're going to be all over the place. I've got an Australian member, I've got a British member, I've got 2 American guys there. Going to be all over the place. Shit distance, that, isn't it? Where Ohio. So where you play Milton Keynes. Shit distance, that.
Shit distance, fucking hell.
Yeah, loads of roundabouts, shit distance. So that's like
loads.
That's my first choice.
How many choices do you have this time?
I only had 2 choices, and so that was my first one, and that's the only one that's kind of firmed up. The other one was more of an idea that I hadn't quite I was still rolling around with it,
more of a vibe.
Yeah, because obviously I didn't really know when we finalised members were going to be.
What's your second option?
Well, I feel like if you're gonna go down the the heavy metal bands, you've got to have kind of like a really abstract name, like visions, structures, pictures, windows. You've got to have a name like that, haven't you?
Windows
98. You just got to have like a speakers. It's got to be like a really abstract. What is it, like intervals? All of those kind of names. It's like trees. It's just got to be something really random and abstract.
Yeah.
But then I also feel like because it's a big mishmash of things, it needs to be a bit abstract, but it also kind of needs to be a bit funny because it's a bit conscious, that we should probably just be called something like Car Boot Sale.
Car Boot Sale?
Car Boot Sale.
Because I feel like Car Boot Sale is like a thing that you could put on posters and wouldn't look weird. It's either that or free beer, because if you put that on the poster, everyone's turning up, aren't they?
Might be a bit suspicious these days.
Yeah, I think...
Audience might be quite mixed if you're putting up posters.
Yeah, but I feel like I might ensnare a load of people in the 40s who've kind of expected to try and buy some some cheap books or something, and they're going to turn up and be like, oh, this band are great, aren't they? But they might hate us. But you never know, they might turn up and might love it.
These will probably be the same people that turn up that don't want to see a drummer's hands.
Exactly,
yeah. They're rocking up looking for a jack for the car because theirs is fogged.
Oh, is that what you go? Is that what you go to a car boot sale for?
Yeah, you buy jacks from car boot sales, don't you?
No. I've never bought a jack from a car boot sale.
I mean, I can't
know.
say I bought a jack for a car boot sale, but, you know, if that's what you do, fair, you know.
It's one of your core memories, obviously.
Yeah, that's ingrained.
Yeah, I
that,
spent a
isn't
lot of time at car boot sales.
it? Yeah.
Says a lot about you, Danny, that does.
Spare doors and all sorts.
We'll get into that in the counselling session later. Fuck's sake.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's already a band called Therapy, isn't there? So I was going to say that would also be the front runner, you know, because everyone's going to need it after that. So, you know,
Yeah, definitely.
it's that or you know, adult counselling services, because I feel like that would kind of cover all the bases. But yeah, it's I feel like if you're going to do something, it's got to be funny, hasn't it? I feel like a band name has to be kind of funny at this point, because if you're only going to do one album, you want something that sticks out. You want something that really people are like, what the fuck did they call it
agree.
that? What, you know, like it's like Chicken Foot. It's a bit of a shit name, really, isn't it? You know, it's like Supergroup, Chad Smith, Joe Satriani. It's okay, I can say this because none of them will ever hear me say it, which is great. But it's a bit of a shit name, isn't it? You know what I mean? Joe Satriani doesn't call me back. It's like Chris Buck, call him all the time.
I'm going to tag them all in this.
Oh, yeah.
This clip out and tag them all in there.
He's booked in next week, actually.
Is he? Yeah, that's
Chad.
sound, yeah. Ask him why he called his band Chicken Foot. But yeah.
No, Will Ferrell.
Same person.
Yeah, I feel like
So which one are you going for? Which one are you going for?
shit distance.
Shit distance.
I think that's a good choice, mate.
I
I'd
like it
choose
better as
shit
well.
distance.
I think it's funny as well.
Yeah. And I feel like you can just come up and be like, hello, we are shit distance. And it's just like, and everyone, you can just imagine everyone getting really riled up. It's like, fucking yeah. Fucking wait to see these.
Get a nice chant going.
Yeah, shit. You know, I feel like it'd be really good.
A shit chant going.
Yeah, just a shit chant.
maybe you don't want that.
They don't know that's our name. They just think we are shit. That's the issue. You know?
Yeah, there'll be half the crowd going shit with an angry face, and then half the crowd hopefully going shit. With, like it's a chance.
Yeah.
But,
But you could get half the crowd doing shit and half the other crowd doing distance as well, and have like a wall of death thing going on.
Oh, a
as
wall
well.
of death.
Yeah.
A shit distance between the wall of death.
do you know the way
Yeah.
Jacob Collier does that audience choir thing? Where like he does that,
Yeah.
you know, everyone sings a note and everyone gets all mad off it because it's all weird, isn't it? And it's like, oh, we're all singing a big chord, isn't this great fun? Oh, I'm glad I bought this. Glad I bought this concert ticket. Well, I'd like to do something similar to that, but like with the shit, where you just go shit, you know, and gets really abstract and weird.
Shit rising.
Yeah, and then, you know, so the venue never wants back wherever you go. So, it's quite a difficult tour to book because you can't go anywhere you've been before. Makes it really... marketing team, they're obviously the brilliant. They did that lube advert, they're great. So they've got the work cut out for them here because we're the hard band to deal with.
I'd buy a ticket anyway. Wouldn't you?
I'd buy a ticket, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
Well, it's sad times. We're at the end of the Dream Band process. Thank you very much for coming
Thanks for
on.
having me. I appreciate that. I do talk a lot of shit, so it's absolutely.
Well, we do too. It's
I
fine.
appreciate you listening to me weird ideas and thoughts on things. But yeah, and obviously I said to you like the other day, Danny, it must have been over 10 years since we did that gig when you were on the Beholder tour. Like it's got to have been like 2014, I would reckon.
It must be around that time. It's crazy.
Because I think we'd done Bloodstock 2013. We did the Metal to Scare Tactics were on the year before us. At the time, there was only a handful of bands in Liverpool, handful of metal bands, and so there was Scare Tactics, Oceanus, Ogun. That was pretty much it. And I think, obviously, Castle City, they did the best out of all of us. When we did that gig, Scare Tactics won the year before us. I think they played with you, and then the next year we played it, and then obviously Beholder came to Liverpool on the back of that, which is mad to think that it was like over 10 years ago.
So where can our audience find you on the social media? What do they need to look for?
Oh, I'm dead easy on social media. Shit distance on everything, mate. Yeah. No, I'm Phil Dyer Guitar on absolutely everything. So just my name, Dyer Guitar, and that's it. I'm really bad at social media. I'm the world's worst for going, I should film some videos, and I filmed like 200 gigs worth of content this year and haven't sat down to edit it, just like of setting up venues and loading in. And because we played some cool places this year, like loads of theatres and like some amazing cathedrals, massive old like classic buildings. It's been amazing to play all these places, and I filmed all the content, but like need to edit it and put it out there. But I'm the world's worst for being like, sat on all this footage and then not putting it out there, because I fall into the trap of I get stuck into the art more than I do all the social media side of it. Realistically, I should just try and find someone who wants to help me do the social media and be like, can I pay you to do this, because I'm shit at this, really. I need some help with it. But maybe to my detriment, maybe don't think it's that important at the moment, because I think if people like the music, they'll find it's out there. It's, you know, and Alex has got enough traction on his side that brings stuff into our EP.
Yeah.
And then I've got stuff coming as well, which is just mine. What's left of Oceanus has stuff to come as well, like a lot of stuff. That's for next year. So we kind of decided that our drummer moved back home. He was from Durham originally. He, you know, a couple of life things changed for him and he moved home, and we were like, oh, well, we want to just write and record. So we just carried on writing stuff and just demoing things. And so we've got like 14 tracks of music just recorded, written, waiting to go, with programmed drums and stuff like that. And so that's going to see the light of day at some point next year. Going to get it sorted.
Wicked. Much
the same, bit more streamlined. But I want to know about your record as well, because I've seen you posting bits about this, and I don't know, obviously you can sing, and like that's a big thing because I can't, and that really impresses the shit out of me. So is this more like what you did, like more the rock stuff, or is this kind of different, or is this more acousticy?
So this single that I'm putting out is just a recreation of a song off the last album I did, and I wanted to write some orchestral parts for it. So it's kind of a complete like reimagination of the track, but it's pretty straightforward. It starts out with like acoustic and then gradually builds up. And then I've just been trying to push my voice a lot recently.
Oh, you're just trying to like actively sing more, or just trying to see how stretch your range and things?
Yeah. I'm actually enjoying singing a lot more now. It used to be a complete chore.
You used to hate it.
Yeah. And it was like, I was really self-conscious and like, you know, comparing myself to all of my idols all the time. And I'll never be able to do that. But I've kind of...
It's for me, it's been amazing seeing you transform from someone that wouldn't even say you could sing to someone that is pelting it out with confidence. You've done amazing, dude.
I mean, yeah, it's boss to watch. I remember when you first started doing it, and you were like, "Oh, I'd like to sing." I mean, I think you were talking to me about that at the time, and that must have been like 10 years ago. And you're like, "Oh, I'd like to do more singing," and I was like, "Oh, sounds cool." And you've just ran with it, and so it's amazing to see like what the perseverance is 10 years down the line, where you're enjoying it and you're good at it, and now you're releasing stuff where that's kind of the forefront of what you do. So I suppose it's kind of testament to the fact that if you do persevere with something, that you will always, you know, you kind of will always win, if you like.
Yeah.
You know, because it's, you know, to release a single where the main kind of, you know, focal point of it is your voice, especially if in like an orchestral arrangement where it's acoustic, but it's all centered around a song that you've done already. That's, you know, that's really impressive. I think that's something to be celebrated, because, you know, a lot of people don't, if they're not immediately great at something, just abandon it. But obviously you've had the strength of mind to continue with something that you weren't initially, you know, strong at, and then become strong at it, which is amazing.
Cheers, dude. That means a lot, hearing that. For me, singing has been like a good way to deal with a lot of mental health stuff as well, without getting too heavy.
Yeah.
But
I understand that.
I like having
it makes sense.
Like, almost like unachievable goals to aim for, because it is a massive distraction from things that worry me.
Yeah, it's that thing of like you kind of turn off the you can't concentrate on too many things while you're doing something like that. I suppose it's kind of like, because it's such a physical, and it is physically demanding. I think people don't realise that it is such a physically demanding task that you can't really think about other things while you're doing it. So it is very kind of calming in that you've got to just think about the task that's at hand. So I can completely understand what you're saying. But sorry, I cut you off. Carry on.
I'm in a better mindset when I'm doing it. So I've tried to be more on top of it, and I'm trying to take on like positive feedback from others more now, and accepting it rather than being like, and being a dick about it. So, but I've got another song coming out hopefully at the end of the year with, Rich Shaw. We used to be in a band.
Yeah, I know Rich,
And we've got another song we're working together. We just need to master the track, but that's quite a big Tremonti Creed-esque kind of track, something like that. So I've got that, and then I've got another couple of EPs that because nobody can sit down and listen to an entire album in one go, it seems, these days.
Yeah.
Of the attention span.
It's unfortunate, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, because I'm an album guy. I like listening.
I like a concept album.
Yeah, I like to sit down and like work through it, and I like to learn everything about it. But I've decided to split up this next release in 2 EPs. It's in a slightly different direction, but I've been heavily influenced by Oriole. So the intention is to kind of embrace a bit more of that. But I like Big Wreck as well. So I don't know if you've listened to Big Wreck, but...
Ian Thornley. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like my hero.
He's phenomenal, isn't he? He's just so good.
The song's going to be adapted to like how big they want to sound.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes with it. But yeah, got plenty.
That sounds
plenty
great.
in the pipeline.
No, mate, I'm really glad to hear that because it like obviously. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass, but you're a fantastic player. So it's amazing to see like you've got all that technique and all that skill, and then you've embraced something that you said that you didn't feel you were good at, like the singing, and now you're good at that as well. So it's kind of like you're just slowly just building up all this skill set, and I think it's just it's only a matter of time before something clicks with stuff like this, and I think that's. The audience is always there. It's just finding the audience and getting it out to them, isn't it? So I think you will inevitably do that, and I think everyone inevitably does it if they stick around long enough. Whether it takes 6 months, whether it takes 6 years, whether it takes 20 years, it takes as long as it takes. I think as long as you don't stop and let it deter you, you'll always find an audience for what you want to do. And I think like obviously your stuff is because mine's broadly instrumental, and so there's a niche to that. But with stuff like what you've said there, where it's kind of it's a lot more. I wouldn't say accessible, but it's clearly more. Open to like a casual listener who would expect a song with vocals and things like that. But that's it's amazing. I'm glad you're doing that, and I think like as you've said, people don't have the attention span for albums, but waterfall releases seem to be the thing that everyone's doing at the moment, where it's a single and then the second single comes out with the first single as a B-side, and then the third single comes out with, and doing that over a course of months helps build the momentum, and then obviously. You watch the followers grow up on Spotify or Apple or whatever, and then so then the next release that comes out, you obviously get more traction again. So even if you've put a 6-track EP out over a course of a couple of months, by the time that's obviously completed its cycle and you've done all the promo for it and all the things that you need to do, you'll have accrued enough people that when the next one comes out organically, it's already got more people to listen to it. So it is just a case of just continuing on, and I think you're doing it the right way, and so it is really good to see it, and it kind of makes me feel a bit more like assured in what I'm doing, because that's my approach. I haven't said this earlier. I still work a 9 to 5. I tour up and down the country 4 days a week, 5 days a week, and hold down a 9 to 5. And my music does not support my lifestyle. It doesn't support me financially, so I have to have other means to do that, which is unfortunately a fact of it, and so. It's that constant push of continuing to promote and release music, knowing that at some point it will connect. And I realistically, the financial aspect of it is a big thing, but you realise that in this day and age, you're never going to make a lot of money from your music. You just would like to be able to make enough to live from, maybe just pay your bills, and then you can get by gigging or whatever, and that's it, really. I think a lot of people kind of think about the heyday of rock stars and think about like what it was like to like millions of pounds and all that. It's like, I just want to cover my bills. That's it. I don't really have any massive like I would like to be able to cover my bills comfortably and live a comfortable lifestyle with the music that I write and play, and that would be in itself the greatest achievement to support my own kind of musical endeavours, if you like. And so seeing what you're doing there makes me feel kind of assured that everyone's in this boat. No one's under the illusion that we're going to get advances and record labels throwing millions of pounds at us, but everyone just wants to get their art out there, and everyone just wants a fair slice of the pie, because obviously Spotify takes a big chunk of your money, but at the same time, as much as it takes a big chunk of your money, that wasn't a means that was available a couple of years ago to get it out to other people. So it's a double-edged sword. Really? It's like, you've got, it's like, it's something that wasn't there that allows anyone, potentially millions of people to be able to access your music, and YouTube as well, all these things. It's got to be there. And everyone's like, oh, well, what we should do is pull our music down because you need to send them a message. But it's like, well, I don't understand what the message you're sending is if you take your music off the platform where everyone is. It's kind of like, it's like taking the billboard down, isn't it? It's like closed for business.
You're hurting yourself.
And that's not the message. Yeah, that's not the message you want to give. All every musician wants is a fair slice of the pie, and to be, kind of compensated for what they do, because it's expensive. The most expensive thing I've ever done in my entire life was this record. It's more expensive than my car. It's like more, and that's just things just add up over time, and it's not in one go. It's not like I've just gone bang, here's my entire life savings in one go. It's just drip, drip, drip over 3 years of like, well, there's all the writing sessions, well, there's all the mixing sessions, there's the drum tracking sessions. It's just all those things, just cost stuff, all the promo stuff, everything, it all, you know, for videos, renting places, for, you know, paying for photographers, paying for edits, all of these things cost money. And it's kind of like, you know, everyone's like, oh, just do it on your phone. And it's like, yeah, okay, I could do it on my phone, but it will look shit because I'm shit at doing that. So I need to pay someone who's good at it. It will look shit, you know what I mean? And so you need someone who knows what to do. And so I think when people see artists going about like, we just want to be paid fairly, I need people to understand and try and make myself clear when I say, I just think people should just be, it should just be enough to live on. Yeah. That's all I need to earn to be happy. That from my music. And so to see you doing the same thing and so many other people do in the same boat, we're all just trying to help each other grow. And like, you know, I think like watching someone like Rich Shaw's is a great example of someone who's like lived the heady heights, you know, touring with Cradle of Filth and then you know, playing Jesus Christ Superstar to like support like his living and stuff like that. And it's like he's a monster player. He's an unbelievable guitar player. And you know, it kind of upsets me a little bit that he's not more well known and that he's not like, people aren't flying him out to do clinics all over the world because he's frighteningly good. But like, there's loads of people like that. There's so many people who are, so yourself included, like so capable, so good, that deserve that kind of like that next step. But we're all just trying to take it. We're all just trying to work out how to get there. The only thing that holds us back is this social media being out there thing. But releasing music is the crux of it, really. At the end of the day, releasing music, releasing art, putting your art out there on the line is the only thing that separates us from people who do, you know, 15 posts a day playing the fastest lick they can play. And that's all you can do, really.
And it's more important than ever now, especially with the introduction of AI as well. I know it gets talked about a lot now, but if there's ever been a time for artists to really express themselves and show what a human can do, a creative human can do, it's now.
We're watching it in its infancy at the moment. We are seeing it in its infancy, and it's already capable of doing so much stuff now. And you think, like, if this is where we're at now, and it's basically baby steps, what are we going to be like in 5-10 years? It's going to be indistinguishable. You can already like generate voices, you can generate songs. Imagine what it's going to be like with 10 years worth of data fed into it. You know, I think realistically, the whole point of it is not for it to create art. The whole point of it is to take away the menial tasks. Like, it should be used in, you know, vocal editing. Cut all the spaces out of that. You know, get all the breaths out of that. De-ess that. That's what you want AI to be able to do. You don't want it to take away from you don't want it to write the song for you. And inevitably there will be people who do that. It's in the same way that you can copy and paste MIDI drum libraries and just, you know, copy and paste MIDI bass and guitar, and you've written a song by just copy and pasting with no real input. But I think realistically, people will use it to help their songwriting, but I don't think it's ever going to be, I don't think it will ever take away from a human expressing an experience. And maybe at some point it might become indistinguishable, and we have that uncanny valley where you can't tell. I might, you know, that might be, you know, it might be 5 years, it might be 6 months the way it's going. You don't know, but realistically, I think we're looking at it in its infancy, and it should be used as a tool to help you write, not something that writes the song for you. It should be something to kind of help with an idea. It's, you know, like maybe it's a random rhythm generator, or like some kind of like pad or synth, or some kind of mixing tool that helps you clean up sounds, or whatever it is. I think that's where it should be powerful. I don't think it should take the human experience out of music. But again, you're right. You know, if that becomes, you know, even more powerful, if you like, in the next couple of years, and it's capable of doing things, all we've got left is art, because it will take over all the menial tasks. But you know, that's it. Once you've got AI that can understand and comprehend tasks, most menial jobs become almost useless, because you can program something to do it. It becomes almost like factory work, doesn't it? And so I think a lot of industries become defunct then. And so if that's the case, then we're in a place where the only thing that we've got left is our experience, and then that means the art.
Absolutely.
Scary world. Phil, have you got any release dates?
I'll probably February time. There will likely be a release of just my stuff.
Oh, bro.
February, March. I'm in the process of finalising like my EP at the moment. And then there will be a second Alex EP at the end of next year. And then tethered into that will be the new Oceanus, if you like, which will be pretty much all throughout the year. So there's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff to come. If people are into the stuff they've heard with Alex, they'll probably like that.
So we want to plug your work, mate, because we love what you do.
I appreciate that.
It's been a pleasure having you on today, mate, and it's been lovely catching up and hearing about your life and your choices of this band. There's some artists that you picked out I've not heard of, mate, but
We'll have a listen.
how passionate you are about the way you speak about music has been thoroughly enjoyable.
Cool. Well, it was great talking to you. Yeah, I appreciate you asking me to come and do this.
No, you've been awesome. Nice to meet you, dude, as well.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
Yeah,
Thanks for
likewise.
coming on. Loved it.
Definitely be in touch, and I'll speak to you soon.
All right,
Cool,
dude.
dude. See you soon.
See you later,
Nice
mate.
one. Love
All
to
the
meet you. Catch you later.
Hey!
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the evaluation section of this podcast.
Indeed. Phil Dyer was awesome.
Absolutely brilliant.
Though it might be about 8 hours long with the amount of honourable mentions that he brought up. It was great to see that he'd done the research, though.
It is the longest one yet. But he really had trouble trying to narrow down, didn't he, who he wanted and everything.
It's a hard job, isn't it?
It is a hard job.
I do not envy our guests.
I mean, especially when we listened to Phil's choices, it was very eclectic, wasn't it, to say the
Eclectic's
least.
a great word to say.
Thank
It's
you.
a great word. It summarises it very well.
Thank you, fellow co-host.
Indeed, co-host. So, where should we start?
Let's evaluate.
Evaluate.
Nice vibrato.
That's right.
Let's start with our traditional approach.
The drummer.
Let's start with the drummer.
Who did you pick?
Jay Poststones.
From?
Tesseract.
Oh, I love Tesseract.
Oh, we both love Tesseract.
It was a great choice. And we've been listening, haven't we, to a track?
Yeah, I mean, we're very familiar with Tesseract anyway, aren't we? So we listened to them quite
seen them quite a
bit.
few times.
Yeah.
And
I bumped into Tesseract at the airport once.
of course you did.
I managed to get a photo with them. It was
Oh,
really...
we actually played, didn't we? Was it Rescue Rooms?
Yes.
On the same
Yes, we
bill
did,
as
yeah.
Tesseract. That was the Ash days, wasn't it, I think, actually?
It was the Ash Days. Second album, wasn't it?
Yeah. The one
Altered
with-
State.
The one with Nocturne on, the song that we listened to. Yes, it is.
It's off the album.
It is off that album. You don't have to look at me like I might be wrong.
No, it's
I
just
know my
like-
stuff.
You know your
bastard.
Tesseract stuff.
I know my Tesseracts.
Well, we wanted to watch him playing the drums, don't we? Because we know that he plays loads of like playthrough videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he's done a live performance of it on his YouTube channel. It's just class. You know, we've made a few notes, haven't we? And you first of all, you said, "Oh, it reminds me of Dave."
From the Parallax Method, yeah. It's just
Yeah,
in the
I
same
know.
kind of style. It's the little, what it is, it's the little fills, the little mini fills, the little flourishes, you could call it.
Yes.
You could call it that. Would you call it that?
You know what I noted?
Go on then.
I described it as selective syncopation.
Oh, look at that. You didn't say that. You didn't tell me that line,
know,
did you?
I
I'd have
saved it.
stole it off you if you did.
I saved it.
You bloody
But
bastard.
I think we both agreed that the drum parts are just beautifully crafted.
They are. He picks out little bits from the music and kind of accents them.
Yes.
Whether it's with his kick drum or his cymbals, and it's beautiful. So and he never overplays. He keeps it really simple most of the time, and it's the little flourishes of fills that kind of bring that life to the song.
I've just had a thought. You know those little flourishes that he puts in?
Yeah.
Do you think they're like markers for him to know where he is in the song?
Oh,
with
so
it
he's not put them in for music reasons. He's put them in to remind him where he is in the song.
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No, he's put them in musically as from a conscious. There you are, throwing me under the bus. I've just had this thought.
Again.
I wonder if he composes it in a way so that he can keep track of where he is because of the repetition.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, but they bring so much to it. It's so much more than a marker,
Oh,
dude.
100%.
You can't just say that he's putting him in there as a marker.
No.
You can't just say that.
I think they
Take it
function
back.
as a marker.
Take it
I
back.
think. I mean that in a positive manner.
Okay.
I don't mean it in a.
It sounded negative to me.
Derogatory.
Do I try that again?
No, you say it for me.
Derogatory.
I don't mean it in that way.
But what a choice. What a great start
Yeah,
to this
it's-
dream band.
Yeah, rock solid choice.
I love it.
Oh, well done, Phil.
Who's up next?
Next, we've got Justin Vernon from Bon Iver.
Oh, I used to listen to these when I was like 17, 18.
I'd not heard of them before. I mean,
It's not really. It's quite depressing, really, at times.
Justin Vernon is the utility musician. That's
He's
right.
utilitarian.
Utilitarian.
So he can do a bit of everything. He can play guitar, he can sing, he can play keys.
Oh, the track we listened to. From
Sublime songwriter.
I Can't Make You Love Me. And it's like a live studio version.
That's a cover, isn't it?
It's a cover, is it?
Yeah, it's a cover, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. It's awesome. Anyway.
Well, it's him and his bandmate from Bon Iver, both of them keyboards, the pianos. I don't know.
Duetting on pianos.
Duetting on pianos, and they're sharing the vocal duties. But his voice is incredible, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's so emotive. So emotive. I mean, I noticed in that chorus that the way that they kind of address the modulation. I always point out modulation,
God,
don't I? I just love it, mate. I think it's it's an underrated kind of technique used in composition.
This is all your stuff from the Guitar Geek WhatsApp group, isn't it?
No, it's stuff that it's stuff that I discovered listening to a lot of Beatles, actually, because they did it a lot. Now, honestly, mate, if you go back and listen to it properly, the
modulation
great
was
songs,
sublime.
The great songs that they did, it's just like, oh, it's class. You know, they'll just be, in simple terms, they'll be on let's say they land on a C major chord.
Make it simple for the bass player.
Simple talk with the bass player.
Bass bird. Cheers, dude.
So let's say you're in the key of C major.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that in the mix and mitosis scale?
Right. So in the key of C major,
yes,
you would expect to see a C major chord, wouldn't you? But you play a chord progression.
So.
You play a chord progression, and you play like a C major, G major, E minor, and then drop back to the C major. But then do another loop and alter that major chord, that C major chord, to a C minor.
So is it like a key change, but not? It just takes takes the root in a different direction slightly.
It's like a temporary key change. I mean, it's down to you how long you want to stay in that moment. But
so you're walking down a path and you've taken the jitty, but you get back to it. You get back to the main path at the end.
That's a brilliant analogy. I love it. That's the way I understand it anyway. But the cool thing about implementing that kind of effect is you can still maintain, depending what note you sing over the top of it or you play over the top of it.
Yep.
You can still maintain that, and it like alters the. You're going to use another analogy, aren't you?
No. What do you think I was going to use?
I don't know. It just that alters the flavour. I don't know.
So you're going down the jitty. And instead of going back onto the main road, you're going onto a side road.
Okay.
And it still carries on in the same direction. Would you say that's apt? I don't know why I did that voice.
It will do. Is that your university professor voice?
Yeah, it's not very good though, is it?
Yeah,
make a
I don't
terrible
know.
university
But
professor.
anyway, it's just like these kind of
You know what,
proven techniques that work really well in composition.
And the songs I mean, you were doing listening to a couple of tracks there, but his songwriting's amazing, dude. So as
it's
you've
class.
talked about modulation wise, you can modulate all over the place.
Oh, yeah, so strong. What a strong choice.
Especially as a utilitarian member.
Utilitarian. Right, let's explain modulation a little bit clearer. Modulation it's a technique in music that composers use to change the key of a piece of music by shifting the tonal centre or the tonic, and it's also known as a key change. And it kind of depends how long you want to stay in that key change for, but there's loads of different types of modulation that can be used, and you can Google these to get more information. But there's a direct modulation, there's chromatic modulation, common chord modulation, pivot chord modulation, and then modulation to relative keys. So the one that I was talking about is the modulation to a relative key, which is it's a common transition between a major key and its relative minor. Yeah, look into it because it's a technique used commonly in classical and jazz music, but when it gets used in pop and rock, it kind of, I don't know, it sounds quite exciting. Anyway, back to the podcast.
Okay, who's next?
Right, so
his bass player.
Yeah, he
Who's your
chose Paul Bender from Hiatus Coyote.
What a name. Hiatus Coyote.
We watched a live performance from a tiny desk.
Oh my God, it was ridiculous.
Home concert. I've written down one word. Bizarre.
Please describe, Danny, for the listeners, what you observed in that room.
I don't really know what I saw.
There's about 40 of them for the start on stage. There was something. I don't think I can say what it was. On a rocking horse.
I imagine. You remember that drug we were talking about the other day?
Ayahuasca.
I imagine that's.
There's a backstory we should probably tell there, but we're not going to.
Yeah, we're not going to.
Danny does ayahuasca. He's been buying it on the web, on the darknet.
He's got a freaking shaman to help him.
Who's your shaman? What's your shaman called? John Wren?
Nicolas Cage.
Oh, imagine.
John Wren.
Mate, I'll be in today, didn't you?
Oh, I've got loads to cry out of this.
You keep that in.
But,
keep that in.
No, I imagine, it's just a massive trip, wasn't it, watching that video? I don't really know.
I didn't know where to look.
How do we describe what was going off?
I don't know if you can describe it, really. It was bizarre, wasn't it?
It was very bizarre.
There's
Very
kind of
unique.
like a jazz vibe, wasn't there?
Yeah, jazz fusion kind of thing going on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd like to focus on just the bass playing because it was absolutely class.
It was one of the best bits, I believe.
Yeah,
so smooth, great tone.
Yeah.
6-string bass, so he's all over the place in terms of high notes as well as the low. Just a supreme bass player.
As a bass player yourself,
I am valid. I am certified to say that someone is supreme as a bass player. I've got the certificate to prove it.
what karate belt would you give him?
I'd give him a 5th Dan black belt in bass. I'm not certified to give them out though.
Why are you not?
I can only give yellow belts out
Is that true?
because I'm only a green belt myself in bass. Compared to some of these guys, I am, yeah. We're getting around all the little analogies today, aren't we?
I mean, it was very chill kind of music, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I enjoyed listening to it, but I think it's probably one of them things that.
Was it too challenging for you?
No, I didn't know. I think it's probably I got distracted with the visual a bit too much.
Okay, I get that.
I think the visual that was going off on the screen, I sort of felt like they didn't need it. In a way.
No, it's a bit over the
Like
top, really, isn't it?
The music was interesting enough, wasn't
Yeah,
it? And it's kind of
the silly stuff.
chill time, bath
But
time
in
music.
terms of Paul Bender, he's one of them bass players that can play literally anything.
No challenge whatsoever.
No
And you
challenge.
Imagine him, he's going to lock in with Jay Poststones on
Supreme tone.
amazingly, isn't he? And then all this modulation that Justin Vernon's thrown in.
He's got it covered for modulation, isn't he? Really?
He's got it covered.
Right, who's next?
What, you going down the jitty, are you? All right.
Hey, up.
I'll meet you
He's
the other
gone-
side.
He's gone off road, but he's not gone out of key. He's simply modulated. Thanks for that technical discussion there about modulation, Danny.
We're going to get ripped to pieces talking.
Oh, you are. I'm seeing well out of it. I keep it simple with jitties. Are you closing the jitty?
No, I'm saying that you're going to get ripped to pieces.
What am I? To be fair, the listeners we got on this podcast are probably like all your bloody guitar group, aren't they?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
They're going to go, you're chatting shit, Dan. And Danny, you haven't explained it correctly.
Yeah, you get it wrong technically, and I get it wrong just because I'm an idiot. Talking about stuff I don't know.
I know what it sounds like, so.
Well, you know.
That's it.
I
That's
think
enough.
you know what? Forget about them. I think you did a great job, Danny.
Thanks. It's okay.
Who's next?
Right, let's talk about Phil Dyer.
Phil Dyer.
Top class guitar player.
Oh, he's amazing. I love his instrumental stuff.
There's a Pale Blue EP. Phil Dyer and Alex Hutchins. If you search that on Apple Music, there's 5 tracks on that EP, starting with Pentlands, Avitus,
You gonna go through more?
Pale Blue,
Jellyfish. That's one of my favourites, Jellyfishes.
and
Great song.
34. It's just awesome.
It's a bit Tesseracty.
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Talking of Tesseract, as we did earlier.
Yeah. I mean, if Phil's gonna bring that element of his playing to the band,
It's all of it's amazing, dude. Like
Yeah.
the lead lines are beautiful. It's got some lovely syncopation and bits to it.
Great
Bob on,
tones.
have a listen.
great tones as well, mate.
Great tones,
Great
yeah.
production.
Bob, I really enjoyed
Yeah.
it. It's one of those things where we get guests on that I've not heard of their music before, and I listen to it and I genuinely love it.
Yeah, I knew you'd enjoy that.
It's my kind of definitely my kind of thing.
You know, if you put Phil on tour with Pliny,
Yeah.
it'd be like match made in heaven.
I've not
wouldn't
listened to
it?
Pliny for ages. I need to get back into some
I
Pliny.
don't think you need to. I think you just listen
Listen
to
to Phil Dyer instead.
Yeah.
Phil Dyer, the new Pliny. Goodbye, Pliny.
Top class. Go and check out his music and check out his Instagram page as well for all his.
Little guitar clips and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you know what
she's-
guitarists do these days?
He's got all his
Endless clips of themselves wanking
Yeah.
a guitar off.
next member.
Who is it? Is it the vocalist?
It's the vocalist.
Who's he picked?
Well, we've
Well,
got
what?
we've got a few people that we probably need to talk about because Phil wanted us to go away and listen to Zambolo, and we've listened to some
yes.
tracks off All the Sweetness on the Surface. Yeah, he's right. This guy is a bit of a creative genius, I think.
Yeah, I think he does
You
it
know-
all himself as well,
Yeah.
from what I read. So it has great production as well. But his voice, you know what I mean? It was very interesting, wasn't it?
It's like treacly.
Treacly.
It's really, really soulful, great. Yeah, the production's awesome. The track that we'll just shout out is Cathedrals.
Oh, yeah.
We enjoyed
yeah.
listening to that track, didn't we?
Beautiful voice.
What notes?
So
do we
he was a
have?
go, but Phil Dyer did not pick him.
No, he didn't pick him.
Who was his next honourable mention? Because we had 2 honourable mentions and then the actual singer, didn't we?
Bilal.
Sorry?
Bilal.
I thought you were being sick.
I think I am. Bilal.
Bilal.
But when I search for it, I search for like literally Bill,
Yeah, so Bilal is spelled Bilal.
and I search for Bill as in
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray,
And Al, as in
And Al Murray.
Al Murray, as in Bill Murray and Al Murray. Some kind of weird comedian combination there. Bloody hell, Danny.
Yeah, we stumbled across...
Bill and Al Murray. It wasn't that.
It wasn't. I think that'd be an interesting combo. we found a Tiny Desk concert. There's loads of these performances on YouTube. You should check them out. So
They are really good.
They're dead good.
I've only discovered them with this. Have you seen them before? Oh, you have. haven't you?
like different.
Of course you have.
Yeah, different artists. But I've not come across Bilal.
What was your first note on Bilal?
Powerful moustache.
Brilliant. That's the first thing you get from
I know.
Bilal.
But then he opened his mouth and he started singing. And it was like, oh, this is what I'm talking about.
Incredible.
It's-
Like, genuinely incredible. Great
Yeah,
voice.
Absolutely brilliant. Phil could have stopped there and it was like, boom,
That'd have been enough.
vocals of doom.
Indeed. But who did he pick?
Mike Miller.
If I'm totally honest, and I'd like to be honest on this podcast, it's not for me. I don't really particularly enjoy that style of music or the style of his vocals. That's brutally honest, but sorry, Phil, you had two better singers you could have chose from there. Your thoughts, Danny? Sorry, I don't know if that's too harsh. Is that okay?
No, that's opinion. It's taste, isn't it?
Yeah, it's taste, yeah.
It's not being harsh. Clearly, the guy is, well, he's sadly passed away now, isn't he?
Yes.
You've spoken ill of the dad.
I mean, I
Can't
like
believe you did that.
Dude, I like Horse the Band. My opinion's not entirely valid, is it?
I'm trying to think of another example, something that you like that.
I enjoy the music of Horse the Band.
Yeah.
Possibly one of the worst singers ever. But it's just not for me. It's not my kind of thing, so I can't really judge it as a valid man, really.
The thing that I can appreciate with like hip hop rap is the ability to work with rhyme.
Oh, the flow, yeah.
Yeah, the flow.
yeah.
I think that's a supreme skill, and
I'd never be able to do it. Have you tried rapping before, Danny?
No,
Have you not tried?
no, I just don't want to. I can't pull it off. It's not going to
How
work.
do you know if you've not tried?
It's not going to work.
Shall we write a rap song?
Don't create more work.
Shall we write a little rap jingle?
Let's keep the listeners interested. Maybe we'll drop it into a future
Maybe this episode.
episode. You'll have to keep listening. Follow us.
Dude, you need to get some rap out of you. Can't wait. But yeah, you got to respect the flow.
But we flicked through 5 or 6 tracks, and we
tried.
I'd say the track that I enjoyed the most was Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza, but it still wasn't really my thing.
Yeah.
But it's just
I
it's
mirror
just
that. I
it's just a
mirror that.
taste thing. I think if I was listening to this band, I think the other two choices would have been a stronger choice. That's just for me personally. Zamvolo or Bilal.
I'd have picked Bilal, personally. I've made a choice.
Was that based on his voice?
Not just his voice, Danny. Also his moustache. It was supreme.
Great band though. Great band.
Well done, Phil.
Well done, Phil.
Maybe tripped up at the vocalist, but we can't judge.
The thing is, with all that combination of those musicians alone,
Yeah.
is going to be far stronger than the music that was in the background of Mac Miller, in my opinion.
Definitely.
So
100%.
He's already going to have a
better base to work off. A better framework.
So when he's
Rapping.
throwing down
Throwing down?
rhyme,
You're trying to be cool.
I don't know what did you say? What is it?
I don't know. I can't say either.
Spitting words,
Spitting rhymes.
spitting rhymes. That
When he's spitting rhymes.
when he's spitting rhymes, it's going to sound a lot more appealing to me over the
You know
musicians
what?
that he's got in
You've
this.
got a great point, actually, because it's going to be very interesting with Phil and Jay's styles in terms of more kind of heavy rock
Yeah.
with Matt Miller's rap vocals. That's going to be a right combo, isn't it?
So it might have more of a, I don't know, Tesseract meets Linkin Park.
Yes. Maybe.
Maybe.
You know what?
With-
I've come around to the idea now.
What do we do next?
Well, we discussed his band name.
The band name.
The band name. So, Phil had some great little ideas for band names. But what did he come up with in the end, Danny?
Shit Distance.
Shit Distance. Is it a good band name? You know what? It'd probably make some good t-shirt designs.
It probably would. And it is kind of funny to say, oh, I'm off to see Shit Distance tonight.
It is, isn't it? Yeah,
you think?
I quite like.
Do you
yeah,
think?
I think the merch has got some
Yeah, it's got potential.
potential behind it.
Would you go and see that band?
I would, yeah. Just to see if it blends, dude. Will it
Will
blend?
blend.
That didn't blend.
I think it would blend.
Would you go and see the band?
Yeah, I'd go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you buy a t-shirt?
Daddy, would you buy a t-shirt? Daddy, would you buy a t-shirt? Daddy, would you buy a t-shirt? Put your money where your mouth is. That's not what you buy a t-shirt. That's not what you buy a t-shirt. That's not what you buy a t-shirt. Put your money where your mouth is.
I'd probably buy a t-shirt as well.
Shit distance t-shirt.
Yeah. What would be on the artwork? Like the car shitting down the road.
Yes, that's exactly what it'd be. Well, actually, exhaust.
Yeah.
Like almost like some clever commentary on kind of you know what I'm saying.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say, Dan?
A clever commentary on fossil fuels and the damage it's doing to our environment.
Wow. That's profound.
I find profoundness in my heart sometimes.
Profanity.
I do find profanity in my heart too.
So we go and see the band and we buy a t-shirt.
Yeah, we would.
Would you? Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't ask you.
if
You buy a t-shirt.
If it's got, like you said, if it's got a car shitting stuff all down the road, then yeah, definitely.
Your t-shirt's great today.
Do you want to
It's
describe
really
it?
good. It's the classic painting Scream by
Munch. I want to say Edward Munch. Herman Munch.
Edvard Munch.
It was about right, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it's
Edvard.
But it's
Edvard's
the
not a
cat
word.
from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Is it actually that one, is it, do you think?
I don't know.
I can't remember. I don't know. What was that cat called? No idea. Let's not even try.
Aardvark.
It's not Aardvark the cat. Don't know, you knobhead.
Auntie to the cat.
Salem Sieberhagen. Salem. It's not Salem, is it? Salem. So it's Salem in the Edvard Munch Scream.
Well done, Phil.
Dude, you was an awesome guest. We were exhausted by the end of it, though. So, dude, where can we find Phil Dyer?
Search Phil Dyer Guitar on Instagram, and there's plenty of awesome content to search through, and
There
you'll find all
definitely
his
is.
music links. Killer player, great dude, great guest.
You know what, dude? I think I miss him a little bit. Let's get him back on at some point. He's a really good dude. Right, shall we say goodbye? It's that kind of time already.
Yeah, it's that time. Thanks to our listeners for sticking with us, not only for, 18 episodes or wherever it's been,
Yeah, 19 episodes by this point, I think.
and for sticking...
With this 5-6 hour episode. That's what it feels like anyway, when
Yes.
editing it. But please give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share. Do you know someone that might like us? Send it on. But in fact, if you know someone that might definitely not like us, send it on. Why not?
5-star review.
Yes, please. It all helps. We really enjoy doing this, so send us some love back, please, if you got to this point especially. If you do
Indeed.
follow us and you've listened to all of this, there's something wrong with you.
All right, let's sign off.
Go on then.
Until next time, goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
We're so sorry to see you go, but thanks for tuning into the show.